Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Good morning, Lennox Smith.
Yes, indeed. A pleasant good morning to you as well, my friend. Are you hearing me loud and clear?
Loud and clear.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, I'm seeing some of course, of the bloggers early this morning. I heard you call. I think you called Nathaniel as well, Mohan, and then of course we have somebody saying Judy is saying good morning, and then of course we have Troy Smith, who is also saying good morning. Yes, uprising. And then we have, of course, Cindy is also saying something as well. And then the Dunath is also talking. Well, of course, blogging really, because they are typing. And then William, of course, is there. We have, of course, Hafisa. And, of course, and the numbers seem to be climbing, man. But of course, we have, who's that? Doric, is it? My glasses kind of foggy this morning because I had to get up. Well, not get up, but get on earlier than normal, even though I would have been up. Who are that we have again? We have a farmer is there as well. We have Rambu Ali. Yes, indeed. Of course, we have who's that? That is Nafisa. Yes, Nafisa as well. And we can go on and on. But say your piece, my friend. I just say let me let you know that I am seeing some of the early morning bloggers as well. So if you have some additional information to share with the audience, please do. That I know you have an engagement early this morning.
Yes. Oh boy, well you are there. Mickie will be joining you in a little bit. Mickie will be joining you there. Just waiting for the Discord to go on there and everything's supposed to run. We have somebody in studio here that will organize and they will send your voice notes, everything that will be played. I will be still with you all on with you technology-wise.
Right, beautiful. That is fantastic. So we really wouldn't miss anything except, of course, that you maybe will not be physically in studio, but the show has to go on, and this type of technology permits, of course, that to happen wherever you are in the world. We can, of course, do a program which is so critical, vital, and important to not just the national, not just the regional, but the international diaspora and the international community as well. Of course, the diaspora refers to, of course, persons outside of Trinidad and Tobago, but certainly I'm sure they would have garnered a following as well to follow us in order to, of course, share what is happening in Trinidad and Tobago on a daily basis. Quite a lot is happening, including, of course, on the crime front. Three murders as a consequence of a gun shooting incident, and I understand our off-duty police officer is in the mix in terms of being a victim. Very, very, very unfortunate. Of course, the Minister of Homeland Security is making the statement that the UNC Coalition of Interest, of course, crime plan will be, of course, unveiled in the not too shortly. And of course, from what is happening, there's another kidnapping that has taken place in a very unfortunate circumstance. We need to be able to hit the ground running, so to speak, as far as that is concerned. But let us be real, it is just about less than three months the administration is in office. So clearly, it has inherited a very, what I consider to be dangerous situation as far as crime is concerned. And that is something that, whilst one may say you cannot, of course, take time to address, but let's face it, it's a human situation, and therefore, of course, the residue of what transpired before will certainly affect what is happening now in the early stages as we move on. But I want to say, however, that comparatively speaking, 300 and I think 27, let me see, 20, yes, 20, uh, 307, I think, up to yesterday, last year, around this time, we'd have had 327, 307, but up to yesterday in Trinidad, where we had 207, so some impact in terms of murder reduction is being felt in the society. Of course, the last administration will take credit for that, saying that, of course, they were the ones that would have been responsible for that reduction. But we have seen that at the same time, they have been responsible for record-breaking, one after the next, murders in Trinidad and Tobago to neutralize or to counter that notion. But we will see what the rest of the year, what we in July now, so that means we just crossed the halfway mark of the year. So we have something like what 5 more months in the year. Let's see what would have transpired as the UNC coalition of interest policies begin to take grip. I understand that Amina, Miss Amin, Minister of rural and local government. I understand that she has made a bold statement saying that the URP file will be submitted to the law enforcement agencies for their consideration. So clearly, I think doubling down on what she would have disclosed in terms of the corruption and the should I say, unsatisfactory state of affairs as far as URP is concerned. I understand that school children names were also in the mix as far as beneficiary to of the URP program, but I wonder how their checks were being changed. So there must be a network of participants if the corruption idea is to hold any kind of water. So let's see what the investigation brings. But it's very, very, very unfortunate. So on the one hand, you have all of that white collar crime scenario taking place, and of course, understand that according to Gonzalez, the PNM has more lawsuits to come the government's way as far as CPEP is concerned. But again, while we try to move on from issues like this, it continues, of course, to malinger, if you want to call it that. But the fact of the matter is that these are matters that are current, and we have to treat with them as we see fit. And that is exactly what we are doing here as well on this program. So, Andy, I know that you have to make your departure. I don't know if you have done so already. Let me just check on the... Now, you have not yet gone. I'm seeing you on the on YouTube, which I'm using to communicate with or to get some information as far as the bloggers are concerned. Yes, I see that Tara is saying, of course, good morning, Andy Williams. Have a safe and a blessed day. Yes, indeed. I see who that yes, Rick is also there, and saying, of course, we replying to Primraj, who apparently he is saying that pleasant good morning. All right, so people are on already, the early bloggers, so to speak, and we are here. Andy may have to leave us momentarily, but Mickie will be joining us as he has indicated. But a pleasant good morning to all and sundry, east, west, north, central, our friends in Tobago, and wherever you are, streaming on the World Wide Web. A pleasant good day to you indeed. It is a morning that you would have gotten up, of course, to a slightly different arrangement this morning, but nonetheless, we are committed in more ways than one to bringing the information to you. Of course, Jody is there. We also have, wow, boy, this thing is moving real fast. Yes, Donna is there as well. We have, of course, Budram is also there. We have Naz is there as well. We have, of course, Tara. We have Rick continues, of course, to do his thing. We have Denver is there. We have Nathaniel is also there, and we can go on and on. Yes, so well done, people. Andy like to say that, of course, these are the early birds that are sucking the best, or should I say, well, the best fruit, as well as getting the finest worms, so to speak, as part of their daily diet. Yes, indeed, of course. So Sukwat, yes, what? Glory, Glori, so that'll be Glory. Who again we have Chandra is also there. We have Evelyn is there as well. We have, of course, Marilyn is also there. Budram is there. Naz continues to show up. Farid is also there. We have, of course, Nadira is also there, yes. Anthony is there. Good morning to all of you. Darcel is also there. I almost say Marcel. Then, of course, we have Bernice is also there. Yes, Bernice is there as well. And who, again, as we move and scroll along with, of course, the system. Remember, people, I have no control over it. I'm just like you, viewing the names through my YouTube connection. So some I may capture, others I may not. So don't blame me if that doesn't happen, or that the speed with which the system operates may cause me to lose some of the name. Dionath, is that Diodat? Yes, indeed. Of course, you have Joyce as well as there. You have Rambo Ali. All right, Rambo Ali is there as well. And of course, to all of you, a present good morning. Nadira is also there. Who again? We have, of course, Naz. We have Maureen. We have Sunita is also there. Yes, indeed. And you have, of course, Donna bringing up the rear, so to speak. We have, of course, Kamal Singh is also there. Marlene again, of course, and blogging is taking place, and that is good. That is good fodder for people like Miss Santa Cruz, who does her what I consider to be due diligence and what I consider to be quality control job. So she comes and she would either in a voicemail or in her natural contribution will certainly give us an idea as to who speaking in ways that are either unacceptable or offensive, and maybe, of course, having a different view to that of the government or herself, and she would make it very, very clear. So we want to thank Ms. Santa Cruz for that commitment to the program, for what I consider to be quality control initiative that she has taken upon herself, people, because none of us get paid as you know, but certainly that's a pure voluntary scenario. And of course, some of you would comment as well on some of the negatives, and making sure at the same time that the TAT does not, of course, get involved, because, as you know, we are either joined with, of course, Gael the Caribbean, in order to bring this simulcast, so to speak, to you. Remember, we are joined by other let's say providers of these kinds of service, and therefore it is important that we stick to the job, to the standard that is required. Nancy is there as well. Yes, of course. And you have Doreen is also there, saying good morning, and good morning to all of you as well. Of course, and Natasha is also there, and we continue, of course, to look at some of the early birds, so to speak. Diodath is also there. Joyce is there as well. Of course, yes, Chandra is also there. Yes, indeed. And Hafiza, yes, is also there. So quite a handful, quite a mouthful, quite a number of persons. But you know, normally I would just simply say good morning to all and sundry, and then of course get into the meat of what I have to say. But Andy not being present for some part, a substantial part of the program, or important part of the program, which is the commencement of the program, I have a duty to mention some of the name, and hopefully all of them, preferably, in order to, of course, continue the program format that we would normally have. Of course, Martin is there as well, Budram as well, of course, Denny is there. Yeah. Naz is also there. You have, of course, Primraj. Yes, you have Diodath is also there. You have Nadira. Some of the names I'll be calling over because, of course, you are profusely blogging and, of course, communicating with each other. Whilst, of course, you listen to us and we bring the medium through which you can do all of that. And I mean, it is wonderful, the technology, when it is working perfect, really and truly brings us some kind of miraculous understanding, or miraculous and weird, to some extent, weird perspective as to how it is possible that people from any part of the world can be communicating as if they are right next door. Of course, a far cry from the rope and the two milk cans that you would pull tightly in order to communicate. I'm just being, of course, Jurassic in that statement, but maybe it's a good example as to how far we have come in terms of the technology. Joey is there, Joe. Of course, Nathaniel is communicating with Joey, saying, "Bless morning." So, Joey, bless morning to you from the ground report as well, and of course, Nathaniel, pleasant good morning as well. Yes, indeed, you have Rambo is there, Ali, and of course, you have Diodath is there as well, and of course they are blogging one to another, and of course making sure that things are moving. Of course, Joy is saying blessings, guys, and of course heading back to Toronto. All right, today, flying from Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. All right. Thank you very much. And I'm sure that we wish you a safe flight back if it is back home. And I trust that for whatever reason you would have been in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, that it was a success. Because, you know, there are so many things that people fly physically to other parts of the globe, leaving their home, whether it's for business, whether it's for entertainment, whether it's for, of course, as a tourist. So all of that is part and parcel of the matrix, and of course is being disclosed to us here on the ground report this morning. Andy will be, of course, out for a little while, so it falls upon me and Mickie a little later to sort of make certain that we acknowledge as much as we can those persons who are online at this point in time and taking in the offerings of the ground report this morning. We have was Viram. Yes, Viram is there as well. We have Naz Ali. We have, of course, who is that? Wow, thing moving fast, boy. Right. Naz. We have, of course, Bali. Yeah. Balraj. Yes. Balraj is there, of course. Rick is there. And some of the names we would call, I have no control over the order in which they are presented to me and I have vision of, but certainly I will do my best to try to call all of them. O'Neill, that O'Neill, O'Neill, there C O or O. All right. Ram Ramsunda Singh, Ramdusa Singh. So at least calling the surname will certainly identify the individual if I would have not understood what the first letter in that name, the first name would be. Yes, Rick is there, of course. Joyce is there as well. We have, of course, Krishna is also there. We have, of course, Nadira seem to be a staple, so to speak, on this program and every morning as we acknowledge the early birds, the early birds. Nancy is there as well. So people got quite a lot, quite a lot. I see Andy is still there. If you're still there, Andy, what arrangement we make for? Well, I know you said that somebody will be there to take the calls, so I'm just confirming if that is in place so that we can begin the process of taking calls. Otherwise, of course, we look at the headlines and acknowledge those persons online. What's the time now? Time check. Time check is just about 6:36, so 6 minutes just after 6:30. And as I said, is a different morning this morning in that I have the pleasure to have to acknowledge the early birds, so to speak, and to, of course, make certain that you miss as little as possible as Andy has an engagement this morning outside. The 007, I see Alana is there as well. You have, of course, Mubarak. Mohammed is also there. Good morning, gentlemen. Well, same to you, my friend. Alan is there as well. You have, of course, Dionath. I think I mentioned that name already. But of course, as much as it comes up, we'll have to, of course, acknowledge in sequence. Krishna, of course, is there. Primraj, who again, we have, of course, Nathaniel. Nathaniel is there. We have, of course, Frank is also there. Yes, indeed. And then you have Rambo. That's a powerful name, boy. Powerful name, Rambo. Yes, indeed. So all in all the best for today. And some people are flying back home. Some people are flying maybe to other parts of the world. And of course, there are some who are simply going to work, and some may be coming from work, such as security guards and security officials, because they work on a 24/7 kind of shift system. Raul is there as well. Raul is there. Prasad is there. Greetings, gentle. Greetings, Janelle. Yes, indeed. So they are making their own, of course, salutations. Otherwise, of course, we are acknowledging their presence online. So to suggest that they are early birds, one, Roy as well. And then we have, of course, who again? We have Gemma is also there. Who again? Yes, indeed. Who again? We have Nadira. Morning to you. No, again, 007. We have Alan. We have Krishna is there as well. We have, of course, Leslie. Yes, Leslie is also there. Alvarez. Yes, that's the total name. Somebody called Sandy is there as well. Jones. We have Gloria is there as well. Who again? We have, of course, Zoraida is also there. And of course, we continue to take your calls. Of course, in between, we will, of course, indicate some of the things that are happening on the news circuit, so to speak. We normally would not, as you know, elaborate very early, but of course, instead, spend the greater part of the first hour acknowledging the presence online and acknowledging, of course, both the diaspora as well as the locals. And diaspora here for me will include, of course, our regional supporters. Andy, you ain't doing the duck dance. Oh, I see. That's why he was, of course, making some kind of movement there. So, of course, people are asking for Andy to do the duck dance. I suppose duck here could mean two things. It could mean dancing like a duck, or indeed, of course, evading or getting out of it. Because I mean, in politics, the ducking is considered to be someone who has chickened out, so to speak, and or is evading some kind of scrutiny or some kind of controversy. So Budram is there as well. He's saying good morning, Zoraida, and of course Coffee. I don't know if there's a name or is it actual suggesting that they're taking coffee at this point in time. And then you have, of course, time blessings to you. Yes, indeed. We have 007 is there as well, and morning after he has given a sort of technological name. It seems to be a email address saying morning at Roll P. That doesn't sound like a email address at all, because it is lacking one or two symbols to complete our email address. So I don't want to be accused of doing like Rowley brings, of course, so-called emails into the parliament, when in fact they were not emails, because some of the address simply did not exist. But he did it nonetheless and caused a whole government, including those pieces of paper that he would have put into the parliamentary records, cause our government to fall. And that is most despicable and probably could be considered to be treasonous as far as I am concerned. Let me just take this particular call. I'm going to take it whilst my mic is open. President, good morning. All right. Yeah. Well, nobody is hearing you because I'm taking the call private. If you need to call, you better either do a voicemail or call on the program itself. Unless you want me to put you on my mic so that they can hear. What do you want to do? You're trying to call the program. All right. Okay. Let me. Just don't be too long, because we trying to acknowledge as much as them as possible. Okay. All right. Go ahead, my friend.
Well, Lennox, I see that they had a meeting in Beacom, the PNM had a meeting.
Yes.
In the Beacom.
Yeah.
And the Beacom people asking PNM if they now know that they're poor.
I hear you.
And as you say, to make it short, the next
yes. Sandy, we acknowledge you, Sandy. Yes. Krishna as well. Go ahead.
Mr. Barry Padarat is telling, I think it's the RIC, will see about rate and so on.
Yes.
To
Yeah,
put a hold on TNTech on WhatsApp.
All right. Yes. In terms of the increase in rates. Yeah.
Yes. You ever hear PNM put a hold on anything?
Well, they would encourage it. I'd pretend that they weren't involved, and that is the process and all of those hyperbolic or big time language to fool the average person to do evil to the people and yet still wanted to be in their favor. I mean, that is most despicable. We are seeing that, of course, even in the opposition position now, where they are attempting, of course, to gain favor and trying for us to forget those iniquities that they unleashed in rapidity on the people, so much so that they became so bamboozled. But when they went to the polls, they demonstrated how intelligent they are. When, of course, they return a verdict of 26-13, which, of course, the PNM cannot recover from even up to today, 2-point-something months after the 28th of April. But go ahead, my friend.
And you know, the people in this country so wicked. PNM, Rowley and the PNM blame the UNC for corruption and all kind of thing from 2010 to 2015.
Yeah.
Did you see any evidence like what you're seeing now between 2010 and 2015 show up by the PNM? And the next corruption going to come out is WhatsApp. So we have CPEP, we have URP, and we would be having WhatsApp in a short while, and it have more to come out.
Yeah, well, I could see the reforestation program being, of course, a victim of the PNM squandermania and corruption. I can see, of course, the fake oil matter being at the forefront. I can see, of course, the integrity in public life issue matter with respect to Robinson Regis and that mysterious money that was withdrawn from one bank, deposited in another bank, but it mysteriously never moved from the original bank. We can see that, of course, the whole question of Daryl Smith, we would want to know what really transpired there. We will have to look at the whole question of the Brent Thomas kidnapping issue. We'll have to look at, of course, the issue of the Galleon passage. We have to look at the issue of the acquisition of those two boats. I mean, it is mind-boggling that one administration could have been so, what I consider to be corrupt and so non-transparent, and of course, on all of those non-disclosure clauses, whether it be our major stay in terms of the economy and the acquisition of foreign exchange, with, of course, Venezuela and other entities that suddenly came into being and on the national agenda, such as, of course, Stuart Young's brothers company and its support, or the government seeing that as the preferred entity for budgetary support, etc., etc. And of course, all of those recusals that took place in the cabinet of this country. I mean, it is simply mind-boggling. The whole question of train one, the highway to nowhere, the slush fund agenda that the government has been accused of. Talking about the last government under Rowley in particular, but of which Stuart Young and Penelope Beckles would have been part of. And I suspect all of the rabble-rousing that is taking place is to try to delay, I wouldn't say preempt at all, but delay the announcement or the investigations that are necessary to, of course, manifest that which we speculated against. For example, I would want to see a big item as far as that is concerned, a bankrupt party suddenly billing monstrosity called Balize House for over $100 million. We have to take a look at that, and the fact that we have had, of course, companies that the government then had arrangements with in terms of employment from a government perspective that was in fact working on Balize House to the denial, of course, because of the lack of information and the control thereof, and the decision to deceive the people that they attempted to sanitize themselves, when in fact the whole question of that Junior Sammy subsidiary called Jusamco was in fact working on the foundation, pouring concrete on the foundation. So that's it. Yes, Andy. I seen, of course, somebody saying. I think that is
morning, Lennox. Morning.
Yeah, Glory saying Lennox, Lennox, we love you. All right, okay. Thank you very much for pausing there. Yes, indeed. But so that's it. Could you give a closing remark? I want to get back to the bloggers.
Yes. What happened? Everybody, not everybody. Well, the PNM, they want to know. They're talking about 10,000 workers get fired from CPEP. But nobody is talking about Petrotrin, Caroni Greens, and Mittal.
Thank you, Rick. Mr. Smith needs his rest after working late at night. Yes, I did, in fact, go beyond the 9 to 10 hour that I prescribed as the new hour or the new time for the corridor transformation. But the people just simply, it takes me beyond 9:30. But yes, you're right. I really need the rest. So thank you for that perceptive position. Go ahead, Mr. Freeport.
That's what I'm saying. They're talking about 10,000 workers from CPEP get fired.
Yes.
But nobody is talking about Petrotrin, Caroni Greens, Mittal, and the whole of Point Lisas. And Faris Alwari was the attorney for Mittal, and he let Mittal go down the drain.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so all of these things are going to be revealed in the fullness of time. That's it.
Yeah,
thank you very much, of course. And as I said, we have a little change this morning, but I want to focus on the bloggers. Yes, Donna, Andy, no. I wonder why she said no. But of course, Betty is there as well. Marilyn is there, of course. Who is that? Sumentra is also there, and was saying something. He needs to rest a little longer. All right, okay. So somebody might have said how much time I should take to rest. I'm following up, of course, with the statement that I need my rest.
We have a call on
but Andy, you are doing a great job in the morning. You make us feel welcome to the program. Well, yes, indeed, of course, all that is part and parcel of it, and when people get a personal introduction, a personal recognition, I think they feel that way. We have somebody trying to get us. Do we have a call on the line?
Yeah, sure. You have Diego Martin inside.
Okay, Diego Martin, go ahead.
All right. And this morning, last night, I ain't talking about cricket, but this morning, well, I probably come in one down.
27. Who would want to talk about that? I mean, that's an embarrassment.
Let me juxtapose it. Anything the PNM put their hands on collapses. West Indies cricket has collapsed. Who was the minister in charge of the West Indies cricket? Anybody can remember? KCR. KCR was head of the committee in CARICOM for West Indies cricket. Look what has happened in Trinidad cricket, the Trinidad Cricket Board. And there's turmoil for financial misappropriation also. It had a fellow who is the president now, who there's a whistleblower saying there was impropriety within the finances of the Trinidad Cricket Board, that fellow who is the president, he went up, he was chosen, was a potential alderman from the PNM, you know. So that is what I'm saying. Anything the PNM touches collapses. West Indies cricket was the fabric of CARICOM unity. Trinidad played an important part. Eric Williams plays an important part. Guyana plays an important part. But the day they give it to KCR and the PNM leadership, all hell breaks loose, everything mash up. They continue on. People have to understand the PNM has been around for 62, 32, 62 plus more than that, 68 or 70 years, and they have their hands and the DNA have infiltrated into the whole CARICOM fabric, and the governance model, the policy is to mash up, not to build and move forward, to mash up. So I put in the blame, a lot of it, on the chest of PNM and the KCR. are going to have a nice morning.
All right, my friend. All right, my friend. Thank you very much. I see Nick is saying that, of course, let Lennox stay away. He talks too much. Well, of course, this is the business. This is a talking business, and therefore, one has to, of course, communicate by way of talking. But don't believe I'm being facetious. I take note of these commentaries. Some, of course, may be considered to be frivolous. Others may be considered to be a little less or a little more than frivolous. And then, of course, you have, of course, persons who may be downright, maybe to some extent, not so pleasant in their criticism, whatever it is. But I see that it's a good thing I'm on the program, and I observe that because, of course, he said too much, but he uses TO. No, that too will be TWO. Right? So too much here. That two TW. You use this two if you're going somewhere. I'm going to the shop. Then you use that TO. But TW more than is required. But of course you use TW. You're talking too much. TW. I'm sure that under normal circumstance you wouldn't get that kind of correction. So maybe the talking is advantageous to some, and of course may be edifying as well, because of course not to dismiss, but because I mean language is about communicating, and I understand exactly what is being said. But if you have to write it in a formal sense, you have to say TW rather than TO. Andy Lennox, who is saying that? Paul is saying that. Sammy. Andy Lennox, like them bad little children, you have to tell him one thing more than once and still not listening. I suppose that is in respect of the headphones. All right, I hear you. But you see, because I believe that the headphones wouldn't make a difference, frankly, because there may be some internet issue, so it might be much more deeper than that. But certainly, I will respond in the fullness of time, and I also feel that I am. The present circumstance is such that I think by and large I hear what people are saying. There are very few instances when I don't. So what is responsible for hearing at times and not hearing at times? So I suspect that there may be something much more in the mortar than the pestle, so to speak. But of course, I have consulted the technician, and they are going to be looking at what really is the cause. If it, of course, is the headphone, well, then that's a simple remedy. But it appears that it may not be so. So that is why my recalcitrant, my resistance to, of course, having the headphone on for the time being. So they have to check the system first to see whether or not it is something more than that. As I said, and you would witness that, the callers, where at times I hear things and other times it may be difficult, and sometimes I speak over some people as well because I simply would not have heard them. And the program is all about callers, and we try our best to facilitate you. So that is the reason. For the first time, of course, you are hearing why. But I continue to accept the fact that my colleagues would like me to at least solve that actual problem, to see a headphone. I could put on a headphone, and then pretend that it is connected. I could do that, but no, we are not about fake. We are about, of course, genuine change and genuine, of course, upgrading. As I said, there are times when I hear and at times that I don't. So it means, therefore, it may be some other issue rather than that of a headphone. Until we could work out the technical aspect of it, you will see me without the headphone. I have a headphone, but I refuse to, apart from the fact that I don't like them, but I refuse to wear it simply because it may not solve the problem. But if the majority of people would like me to wear a headphone, certainly I will. I've done it, of course, regularly at the station when we were at the Amaus station. And boy, it was painful to wear and, very irksome to keep wearing that. Sometimes you get some echo even after the program when you would have completed the exercise on a morning. So there is also some medical issue as well with respect, of course, to my wearing a headphone. So for the first time, of course, I've seen all those comments on that aspect of it. I thought it was important, particularly when one says that it resonates with me, a hardened child. Of course, being a teacher, I can tell you that I have had some serious experience with some of them. Good morning, Andy, of course, who is saying that Daryl is saying that, of course, Michael is there as well. We have, who again, Andrew, is it? We have, Carmen is also there, giving a thumbs up, yes, indeed. Well, again, Nick is there as well, of course, and wow, more people are on, and fast and furious. Things are moving. And Brown is there as well. Yes, indeed. Who again? We have Dio is there. We have, of course, Ishmael is also there. But Kala is also there. And who again? To acknowledge, of course, your presence in the first hour of the program, and normally I'll come in the second hour. Let me just check the time to make sure that we are on schedule. Yes, is after 7 o'clock already. Yes, times really fly fast on this program. So it is, of course, 2 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock in Trinidad. Of course, if you're living in a different time zone, well, then of course the time will be different. But here in Trinidad, of course, it's just about 2 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock. Yes, of course. Who again? Dupati is there as well. Yes, Dupati is making her presence felt. Of course, Noel is there as well. We have, of course, who I got? Matt. And Anthony. We have, of course, Bernadette is there as well. You have Carla. Yes, Carla Yonhip. Oh, Yanhip, Y-A-N, Yanhip. And then, of course, we have, who again? Jai is there as well. UNC government reporting back to the people. But I suppose that may be part of a conversation that Jai may be having with others on the suitability or on the importance of reporting on the Monday Night Forum that has been reintroduced by the UNC Coalition of Interest Administration. But the UNC in particular, I don't want to say Coalition of Interest because that's a strictly UNC initiative. But of course, being a major part of the government, I must accept and acknowledge. But the fact of the matter is there is still, of course, a Coalition of Interest arrangement attached to the governance of Trinidad and Tobago as we speak. Well, again, Daisy, yes, indeed. Daisy is there. Good morning to the ground report. Well, we reciprocate in a like manner. Haviza is there as well. Andy, we want to hear your comments. All right. So, there you have it. Of course, well, he did indicate that he will be in touch with the program, and therefore I'm sure that the topics that we would be addressing. Yes, my friend.
Well, I am here, man. I am here. All we have to do
Good.
is just open the lines, man. The lines are open. The lines are open, man.
All right, right.
The
Okay,
landline.
so from 7 o'clock, lines are open. I thought, all right. So enough
Yeah, the lines
salutations
are
and enough
open there, man.
recognition.
The lines open. On top of that, they
The
could
lines are
also
open, people.
send
Of course, let me give you the numbers to call: 225-6644, 225-6644, 239-5120, 239-5120, and then of course WhatsApp to leave your voice notes. Of course, 366-3053. 366-3053. For the new callers and for those who feel that they can, of course, take advantage of the opportunity. The lines are now open. As I said, you have one to give your voice notes. Leave your voice notes. I will be alerted by the technician in studio.
no WhatsApp calls, right? No WhatsApp calls, only voice notes.
Okay, and the WhatsApp one, which is of 366-3053, 366-3053. No calls from that one. You can leave your voicemails there, and that's the one that will be used or engaged to telegraph to the international audience and to the local audience what you would have said, having taken the time to, of course, record something that may be on your mind or an issue that you would like ventilated. This is the kind of service that we provide. This is what the good governance is, and of course the role of the third or the fourth estate, I should say, in a democracy. Remember, democracy, of course, comprises the executive, which is the government, the legislature, which of course is the parliament, and of course you have the judiciary, which of course is the law courts, and then of course you have the fourth estate, which of course is the media that brings that entire situation together, because with information you are able, of course, to determine whether or not a government is good, bad, or indifferent. And when you go to the polls, you act in your best interest because you would have been informed. So that's our role in a nutshell. So once again, the numbers to call, I will give way once there's a call. I'm sure that I will be able to hear such indication by the technician that is in office at this point. Andy has an errand to go on, and therefore, of course, I'm here doing, of course, the honors at this point in time. 225-6644, 225-6644, and of course, the other number to call, 239-5120. 239-5120. So you have two numbers to call live, direct, and then of course you have a WhatsApp number where you leave your voicemails. I think that is very simple. The English is clear. That the WhatsApp number 366-3053, 366-3053. You only provide us with a voicemail on that number. The other two numbers that are available to you, any one of them you can call to get us directly and live in studio, are 225-6644, 225-6644, and 239-5120, 239-5120. Remember, I will give way as soon as a call comes in, so there is no hesitation whether I'm in the middle of or at the beginning of some comment that I feel that should be brought to your attention. Let's look at the headlines. I know usually at this point in time I would come in to look at some of the headlines. So let's look at some of the headlines. Workers sick out on oil platform. I have not got the opportunity to read this particular article, but I mean, sick out means some kind of industrial action that is taking place, and that refers to people down in tools but are still, of course, employed or still maybe malingering somewhere on the compound. In this case, of course, we're talking about oil platforms, and oil platforms suggest that it is something outside in the marine environment or in the waters in the sea, um, whether it be in the Gulf of Paria or in the Atlantic Ocean, which of course surrounds Trinidad, and then we have, of course, the Dragon Mouth and the Serpent's Mouth, and we have, of course, a channel called the Columbus Channel as well. All of these are bodies of waters that have been given these various names to, of course, suggest that Trinidad and Tobago clearly is an island, a small island at that, the southern extremity of the archipelago called the Caribbean. All right, so workers sick out on oil on platforms there, so it's more than one. A Valsain resident fearful after kidnapping. That's a very unfortunate situation where in the presence of family. We will give a little more detail later down. Let me just go through the headlines. And Gonzalez, more CPEP lawsuits coming. Of course, my position in that is just that they are doing that to save face. None of them will produce the desired effect that they would want, except, of course, in the meantime, they get the attention of the traditional media and, of course, the social media as well, as they engage, of course, in what I consider to be bellicose language, because you hear one of them saying that it is war. So I don't know if they are warring with themselves, because the present government never declared any war on anybody, except, of course, to look into misdeeds and corruption, nepotism and cronyism that would have been, as we have said very often on this program and elsewhere, the government clearly of the PNM under Rowley, under Stuart Young, and of course all except a few exceptions. I think Marcel may be one of the few exceptions, and I think the parliamentary representative for Laventille East Mover. Incidentally, I have something to talk to you about with respect to Laventille East Mover. Would not have been part and parcel of the previous administration, where today all these revelations of misdeeds, malfeasance, misfeasance, misbehavior in public office, raiding the treasury, being dishonest, and of course, downright, not pilfering, but raiding the treasury of the country. So we see where that goes is it's only 2 point something months. So the government is in office. So there's much more, I'm sure, to be unearthed, as we indicated through my discussion this morning with the Freeport caller, very ardent caller. So I thought I should take him on the mic so as to share what he wanted to say with you. Kit Israel, Bungie score big on Madia's destination wedding. All right, I don't know much about it, so you'll understand my hesitation. But of course, that seemed to be entertainment, or should I say entertainment celebrity issue that maybe later down the road we will have a look at it, because we need to be as rounded as possible and to look into every area that we can for information, acknowledgement, and in our case, dissemination. President pitches Panyard model for national progress. So the president is saying something about Panyards. I suspect the level of camaraderie, the level of productivity, all of that that goes into producing a tune or producing or surrounding panorama, the level of productivity is phenomenal, and of course very frenetic around Carnival time. But during the course of the rest of the year, that seemed to be reduced considerably. And therefore, if we could take that momentum and transplant it into daily lives, I suppose Trinidad and Tobago will be in a better place, productivity-wise. Manu Man Singh, of course, remembered as a giant of broadcasting Indian culture. Well, of course, that's the one-time journalist, one time, of course, Indian ambassador, if you want to call it that, having sponsored or hosted a lot of Indian talent shows, and he has died, and that is the kind of eulogy that he is getting now that he has passed away. A Valsian woman kidnapped. The van was found. Let me just read this because I think it's important. I don't think we have much more to look at in terms of headline news. Of course, let me just go down the road. Before that, sea creatures that roam Trinidad and Tobago's waters. Attorney demands a front page apology. Damages over defamatory report. Well, of course, that is the Martin, the Tobagonian lawyer, basically, that has been charged for some sexual offense, and he's saying that there would have been some unfair exposure that would detriment his trial. Obviously, that is what he's looking at. I'm not saying that he doesn't have a right so to do, but of course, but it is a factor in dismissing the matter as far as the courts are concerned, because that is historical. There is, of course, precedent for that, in other words. Venezuelan woman sells Trinidad and Tobago doubles in her hometown. That is the news day. Let me go straight to the Express. Excuse me. Let me go straight to the Express. Of course, the lines are open, people. The lines are open. Don't accuse me of talking too much because I'm not getting any indication that people have called. So the numbers to call once again for the new callers. Try your hand, try your voice. 225-6644, 225-6644, and of course the other number to call live in studio 239-5120. 239-5120. For those of you who are online, well, it is right in front of you, the numbers, so you can choose which one. And don't forget the WhatsApp one. You can, of course, deposit your voicemail, and it will be played during the course of the program. Hopefully, of course, Andy will be back before we close at 10 o'clock. I myself have something to do, but of course we are in this thing together, and when one party is indisposed, then of course the rest of us have to pick up the slack, even if it's one person, but somebody is always here to serve you. So the WhatsApp number, only voicemail. Do not call it for live contribution. Do not call it for that. Only use it for recording your voicemail. So that number is 366-3053, 366-3053. Yes, indeed, of course, quite a number of persons are still there. Bernice is there. Yes, Bernice is there. Davy is there as well, of course. Patricia is also there. Morning all. She's saying, well, we reciprocate. Morning to you as well. Somebody is, of course, is recognizing Miss Arima. Yes, indeed. Long time I haven't heard from her on the corridor. But of course, all things being equal and in fullness of time, I suppose things will settle down. Somebody said, Andy, agree. Whatever that response was, or response to was, I would have had no knowledge of it. But let's go again to the Guardian. No, to the Express. We go to the Express. Let me get the Express now and see what it is saying. Yeah, the Express. Okay, the saying, of course, Mom snatched by gunmen.
Hello, there's a call
So that's
on the
another
line.
kidnapping
Hello? I'm not
episode.
hearing you. Let me just lower my television.
Let me just read briefly what it says. The police are searching for
are
a
you
woman
there,
who was kidnapped in the presence of her son and her husband in Valsain on Sunday night
Hello.
after being ambushed
Hello,
by
there's a
armed
call on the line.
assailants. So that would have been done on Sunday night. So that's two days ago. I mean, URP fraud for cops. So that file is being sent to the Commissioner of Police for his consideration as far as launching an investigation is concerned. And just briefly, it says local government minister Khadija Amin says there are matters within the unemployment relief program that she will be reporting to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service or Commissioner, I suppose, because they say COP, which means COP, meaning Commissioner of Police. And she's saying that she would be submitting that, so will be, so it means that it is not yet there. All right, so that is just something to be futuristic. Cop among 3 shot dead in Gonzales. I saw that video and I was amazed as to whether or not it was real at all. I didn't get to see the actual bodies lying on the ground because there was live footage and I assume coming from a house having been having the benefit of cameras, and therefore that incident was taped. But the pull up on the block, so to speak, that's what we call it in Laventille. We call it in Laventille, and fellas were lying 3 and 2, 5. I noted, but just before that, a little toddler, couldn't be more than 5, 6 years, came to speak to someone on the block there, and then then she disappeared from the video, meaning that she probably went back to where she came from. But a few moments later, a car pulled up, a black vehicle car, and of course the 2 men alighted from it with, of course, machine guns clearly, and it's po. 3 went in one direction, 2 went in the opposite direction, running. Of course, talking about the persons who were linemen. And the assailants, they fired shots against at the 3 that went in, as I said, a different direction. And the next thing you know is this report that cop among 3 shot dead in Gonzales. So very unfortunate situation, and very unfortunate that a police officer clearly in the wrong place at the wrong time. That is what I have to assume. I cannot assume anything else. Except, of course, whatever investigation delivers. That is what we have to accept. Until such time, we have to conclude that as an off-duty police officer, and I would have to assume as well that the assailants were not after the police officer, but linemen with persons who they would have targeted. Again, just speculation. I am not in any position to conclusively say yea or nay or one way or the other in terms of that unfortunate incident. What has happened, of course, is that it has raised the murder rate numbers to, of course, by 3, and therefore very disturbing. Of course, in response, I believe, to that and other developments, the Minister for Homeland Security, Roger Alexander, has said that the true program. Hey, good morning.
How are you? This is Diego Martin again. There are so many things to speak about, and I want to talk about crime.
Go ahead.
I believe it is time that the president intervenes into all of this and remove the police service commissioners forthwith. You remember about 2 years ago, she went on a platform and attempted to get the opposition and the PNM to get together and come up with a plan. That we, the citizens, have carried the country to a place where that is an honest issue now. We got rid of the PNM within the legislative framework. Now,
Okay.
the president has to act because I suspect the police service commissioners, because of their inaction of not disciplining the several people in the executive of the police service, moving them aside so proper investigation to take place, possibly is facilitating the crime surge. Because what I'm saying, the police and by extension the police commissioner hands are tied because of errant leadership in the public service. So I'm calling her to take the initiative. Don't wait until she has a meeting with the executive, with our Prime Minister, Kamala Prasad-Bisasa, to persuade her to do something that she, on her own volition, has the responsibility and the authority to do. I don't want her to continue spewing the gospel of the PNM. Action is needed now. Look at the heinous crime with high-powered rifles. The fact is that the main entity in suppressing crime is the police service. And if that is an errant organization, we have to fix it. And she, the president, and Her Excellency, Miss President, I apologize for calling you she. I should have give you the proper accolade that you deserve if you be behaving in the rightful place. Do not go down in history as another weeks. Another weeks allow the mashing up of a merit list. And you, by your current action of not disciplining the current police service commissioners, is allowing crime to continue. You have a place and the responsibility to do something. And the next meeting that the president, I think it is a monthly meeting, I think the prime minister should whisper to her loudly that you facilitating and you're allowing an organization to basically interfere with the expected function of the police service to provide us and protect us with crime and security. I am hoping that that discussion takes place forthwith, because those people in the police service has no honesty and integrity. If they can't do the job, don't frustrate the country. Don't frustrate me as a citizen. All those board members who have been appointed the PNM, we spoke and we say we don't want all you. So why all you continue to hang around and frustrate and carry out the negative policies of the PNM? Just as I said in my earlier contribution, PNM is in the middle of the collapse of West Indies cricket. I go on. I'm frustrated this morning. I go on. Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We have another call.
No, we don't have a call on the line.
Speak a little louder, the person who is in studio, so I'll be able to hear you.
We don't have a call on the line.
No, not yet?
No. You go ahead, Lennox.
Because
I say you go ahead and talk.
Oh, go ahead. Right. Yes. Speak at that level, so that decimal is perfect. The lower one, I didn't hear you too well. Of course, we have somebody online who has said that how long the commissioner has been in office. So suggesting that it is a bit early. Of course, somebody is also saying, is that Rose? R-O-Z-Z?
We have a caller on the line.
What that person said.
Hello.
You have a caller?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Hi,
Go ahead, caller.
morning. Yeah, hi, good morning, Lennox. Lennox, you have to get that is the headphone or the earphone. Because lady was calling earlier and you were not hearing at all. Anyway, thanks for holding on. You know, we always appreciate you. You hearing me? Hello? Hello? I don't know. Hello? Not hearing Lennox. Lennox, are you hearing me? You're not hearing anything on your end.
Lennox,
Okay.
are you hearing her?
But if I'm on, I'll still talk even though he's not hearing me.
You
Okay?
yeah.
Right, go ahead. I think that sounding like Miss Woodbrook. Go ahead, Miss.
Yes, it's myself, yes. Yeah, okay, I'm wondering, let me see what I have to say here. Listen, what I am talking about, want to talk about this morning, is this crime situation. Lennox, I am all for the government taking the time to do, to do what has to be done. But crime has been around for so long. And I think it's about time that these criminals are being put in the place. Because they stayed quiet for a little while, like they were testing the government. And what I saw yesterday, again, where these men and these hooligans or these gangsters, whatever you want to call it, jump out of a car in Gonzales and started shooting as if it's the Wild Wild West. This should not be allowed to continue. You understand? Crime has been around for so long, and there are so much different ways and means that they could catch these criminals. Technology is so advanced that you could stay in a police station or you could stay in a room or wherever and see something. You could stay in Port of Spain and see what is going on in San Fernando or all over the place. If these criminals know when they go in this black car and shoot up the place, that before they get out of Gonzales, all of them going to be killed by the time they reach Norfolk Street or by the Savannah or something. You think they wouldn't stop it? We have to have a more rapid response to deal with these criminals. It must not be allowed to be continued to go on. Too many people are losing their lives. And when they were there shooting in Gonzales, you know how many innocent people could have gotten killed? You understand? Yeah, and I am all for giving them time or whatever everything, but the police force has been there forever. You understand? Clean up inside of there and let they said they are good police, bless all here. Clean up inside of there, get rid of the police who are not doing their work, and let the ones who are doing the work come out and deal with this crime. Because these criminals really think, as a matter of fact, they know they can thing and get away with it. But you see, in this day and age, anyway, as we said, it takes some time, because no government will fix it. You don't get the helicopter, and you don't get all what we're supposed to get to deal with it. But in the meantime, it's about time they start catching these criminals when they leave a crime, because Trinidad ain't so big, we have so much road. You understand? And arrest them or kill them or do whatever you have to do so that the rest will think twice. Because let me tell you now, all who shooting and all who robbing and raping and having house invasion and things, they don't want to be held there. They want to do what they have to do and get away. You understand? So it's about time we get real serious with this crime and send a message. If you're a police and you don't want to work, it's time to start firing people. If you're a criminal and you don't want to dead, stop killing people. Okay, now, so people, let us really, I hope and pray that something will be done immediately. Take time with everything else, and you have to take time. But it's about time something is done immediately about all these lawbreakers. Okay, people, have a blessed day.
Okay, Lennox, you could go ahead. Lennox, you could go ahead or no?
Yeah, Lennox, I don't know if you're hearing, but you can go ahead. Good morning. Good morning to you,
Right.
our technical director. Good morning to you, Lennox Smith.
Yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
All right. You're hearing me loud and clear. All right,
there seemed to be some technical issue because I'm hearing some callers and then I'm not hearing. So they are working internally to see whether or not is an issue here. Thus my resistance to, of course, put on the headphone. But I do have a headphone. I've always had one. But of course, there seem to be that issue. So I'm going to, because I see a lot of people on the live is saying that I should wear the headphone. So I will do that. But as I said, whether it's going to be effective enough is another story, because I did try it elsewhere. But that being as it may, good morning to you, Mickie. And of course, I was in the jaws of course, giving some headlines as to what is happening in Trinidad and Tobago, and that shooting of 3 persons, and one of which being an off-duty police officer, has sent some kind of serious issue. The Minister of Homeland Security, Roger Alexander, did in fact say that in not too distant future, and I expect not too distant mean very, very, very shortly, because this is a matter of life and death, that the crime plan of the UNC coalition of interests will be ruled out. While of course there's no gainsaying, but of course, unfortunately, you have to say that this is more of the same, and clearly a leftover from, of course, the last administration, having regard to the fact that is 2 point something months the present administration is in place. And we have seen, of course, historic murder counts consistently over the life of the PNM under Rowley, and of course Stuart Young for a short period, and the several ministers of national security, and in particular, of course, the previous immediate ones, both Hines and then, of course, Gonzalez, who, of course, is now a member of the opposition team, having won his seat on, one may have to tempted to say, unfortunately. That being as it may, of course, as soon as there's a call, please indicate to me. The lines are open. Of course, the numbers to call 225-6644, 225-6644, and the other number to get us out live, 239-5120, 239-5120, and then only for your voicemails, the WhatsApp number, which is 366-3053, 366-3053. In case you just joined us, well, don't forget, Andy will not be with us momentarily, but of course, wherever he is, he will be communicating from time to time. Hopefully, he'll be back before the end of the program. Mickie, well, as you've seen, would have joined us as well, to make certain, of course, that things remain even keel, and that, of course, we continue to share information. Messy mess up with he here. Why the headphone? Somebody is saying, who that Shahid is saying, of course, Lennox don't want to mess up he here when the headphone is on. I hear you, my friend. All kinds of excuse. Thank you for the excuse, but I have said what I have to say in terms of that. Lennox, you have to get a computerized headphone, bro. Of course, and I may be consistent with somebody who said that we are not familiar with the technology. Slimmy send papers for Lennox. All right. And then, of course, the Dune is saying, of course, good morning, my ground report family. Thank you very much, and we reciprocate. And then, of course, there's another one. Who's that? Dreddy Brain. PNM has what? Being a black party, they bring in the guns. They bring in the guns. Put in the black people hands, and this is the outcome on crime. Well, of course, a little more complex than that. But of course, there's enough blame to carry about. Katie is saying, of course, Acton, good morning. We reciprocate as well. Let me get back to some of the issues of the day. As I said, loudly tell me if there's a call. Don't forget the numbers to call once again. Right now, Andy is not with us, so we expect that you will carry on as much as you can in terms of an opportunity to call in unfettered, undisturbed. 225-6644. For the new callers, 225-6644. If you wish to, of course, haven't been listening and you want to chance a call today, well, you have the opportunity. 239-5120, 239-5120. Remember, we will be playing your WhatsApp voicemails and whatever you would have had on your mind. And that number to call only for that purpose is 366-3053. 366-3053 to, of course, deposit your voicemails. All right. So let me just highlight some of the goings on as far as the Express is concerned. What is it? The visible strategic crime plan in coming weeks. So this is what I was talking about, and just to give you a synopsis, reading from, of course, the Express. Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander says that in the coming weeks, citizens will begin to see a more visible strategic plan to fight crime. So I think I would have paraphrased it in almost similar words. But of course, this is coming from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Whilst I hold no brief and or make no excuses, but the fact of the matter is that what we are seeing today is a continuation of what was meted out to the present administration after the 28th of April, just about, of course, 2-point-something months ago. So as one blogger has rightly said, give it some time. But in the case of life and death, I think time is not an option. But the reality may indicate differently. Grateful to Garel. Wonder what that is all about. But that is what it does. EPA urges government to fix school security. Let me just read a little piece of that. The Estate Police Association, so that is the EPA, has called on the government and the Education Minister, Dr. Michael Daulat, to urgently address security concerns at schools across the country, citing serious risk to students, teachers, and the security personnel. EPA President Derek Richardson on Saturday highlighted recent incidents that underscore the need for immediate action. He referred specifically to an incident at a Malik Secondary School where 2 estate police officers were tied up and robbed. Boy, so there you have it. Thus, of course, so it's a matter of the security trying to secure themselves while at the same time calling on the authorities to take action. Very unfortunate situation there. URP feeding frenzy, and of course that was also echoed in the Newsday that we of course highlighted earlier. Padarat accuses PNM of CPEP hypocrisy. Maybe that might put things in perspective as well, even though we promised that and hope that by the end of yesterday, the CPEP matter would have been behind us. But the fact that Gonzalez has said that more lawsuits are coming does not suggest that they would at any time soon sedate that situation, reduce that situation. I suppose they've seen it for part of their political survivability, and that therefore they will extract from it as much as they can. Something like a kowo picking at a meatless, rotting skeleton. Let me put it that way. or a skeleton without any meat. Padarap accuses the PNM of CPEP hypocrisy, and that article continues. Just to read a few, just about one paragraph or two. A Public Utilities Minister, Barry Padarap, has accused the former People's National Movement government of political hypocrisy, citing a cabinet note that detailed the firing of contractors and the dismissal of employees in 2017, just days before the reopening of the school term. That's another twist to this thing. So, is it that Penelope Beckles and they did not do their homework once again? This seemed to be the pattern of behavior of this now opposition, and trying, of course, to be self-righteous indignation advocates. But the fact of the matter is that their track record has proven to be different. Let me just read one more paragraph too.
But just in case, the technical director, is there any calls? Anyone trying to make their way onto the program?
No, there is no call.
I asked him to speak loudly so that we can get.
No, I can hear him. So if I need to tell, if you're hearing me loudly, Lennox, you're hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you very good. But
well, all right. I'll just relay.
I am having some difficulty.
Well, I'll just relay the message as the case may be.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
So do we have one or not?
No. Just give them the numbers one more time, please. So
all right, we'll do. So let's before, of course, I continue with that article. The numbers are called 225-6644, 225-6644, and the other number to call right now to get us in studio, 239-5120, 239-5120, and don't forget only voicemails, and we'll play that momentarily. The WhatsApp number 366-3053, 366-3053. So we take your calls now. Don't believe that you are interrupting. No, you are not. The fact of the matter is that we have to fill the gap, so to speak, if you do not take the opportunity now. So the article continues. After reviewing the note that you sent, it was clear that all those who are crying crocodile tears today about CPEP contractors and workers were at the center of sending home workers and contractors just before school reopened in 2017. 2017 we are talking about here. Where
very interesting.
Where were the protest, name calling and butchery then? Where was it, according to Padarap, stated in response to questions from the Express? So the PNM had intended to send home a lot of workers and contractors at one point in time.
But that's a fact. That's a fact. I mean, the hypocrisy is going to be there. The issue still lies within the fact that, controlling and managing the narrative rather than having the PNM take everything and apply their propaganda to it is an issue that we have to look at. Your first line of defense would be proper and effective communication. The Ministry of Rural and Development and Local Government, and we go back to something that took place earlier on, I think this week or last week, refutes the misleading headline by Guardian Media /CNC3. The Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government notes with concern the misleading headline published by the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian on Sunday, 13 July 2025. A title, "A Means Project Plans Stall Without Property Tax Funds." Now, just looking at that headline, of course,
they have gone.
Yeah, it tells you something totally unfair. He said this headline is inaccurate, sensational, and does a disservice to the public. The ministry wishes to provide the following clarification. 1. The primary objective of the meeting convened by the Honorable Khadija Amin was to ensure that all municipal corporations were on track with their allocations and properly submitted funding requests. Again, I want to repeat that. The primary objective of the meeting convened by the Honorable Khadija Amin was to ensure that all municipal corporations were on track with their allocations and properly submitted funding requests. Two, during the meeting, several corporations highlighted shortfalls in critical areas due to the former government providing insufficient allocation to cover expenses such as wages, cost of living allowance, the COLA, scavenging, and other day-to-day operational needs. In some cases, corporations had received up to 5 months less of their required funding. Three, the meeting focused on strategies to cover these shortfalls using reallocations from less essential areas within their existing budgets, especially in light of under-allocations inherited from the previous administration. Four, discussions also involve identifying funding gaps and determining how best to secure additional support to maintain core services. These are essential efforts to protect jobs, continue services, and respond to community needs. It is important to note projects have not been stalled. The claim made by Guardian Media is entirely false. Municipal corporations continue to implement development programs and community initiatives. Property tax was only briefly mentioned as one of several budget lines, where some corporations had not made requests under their own allocations. It was not the focus of the meeting. And the suggestion that the minister is relying on property tax revenue to roll out projects is a fabrication. The ministry is managing the current budget with fiscal prudence and transparency while correcting years of underfunding under the previous administration. And finally, Minister Amin assures all municipal corporations, their employees, contractors, and suppliers that despite the financial challenges left by the previous administration, her ministry is committed to protecting jobs, sustaining essential services, and ensuring that all payments for completed work are honored. So that had to clear that up. Again, when you rely on legacy media, when you rely on these mainstream outlets to bring forward your narrative, that's what you're going to get. So again, one has to be very careful, and we have to manage and have a better, control of the information. So you see how misleading they can be.
Mickie, I want to tell you, go to the top of the class for being that perceptive and analytical. Because, of course, the obvious question, just in case for those out there who may have or misunderstand, or who doesn't have a comprehensive understanding of what Mickie just said, the fact of the matter is that in that meeting, there would have been 7 representatives from 7 corporations from the PNM, because the 14 municipalities and corporations split down the middle, 7 for the UNC, consequential of the last local government elections, 7 for the PNM. So if you're having a meeting of these corporations, certainly PNM representatives would have been there. So clearly, if that was never spoken, CPEP and the dependency of CPEP, and suggesting, according to the article, that they would have made a mistake by, of course, discontinuing property tax, then that would have been the narrative of the PNM. Because the PNM, of course, was advocating during the campaign and outside of the campaign property tax, even though, of course, the leadership of the PNM had said that tax was a dastard tax and they will never pursue it. So we want to make it clear. And Mickie is correct that, of course, the present administration needs to get its act together in terms of making certain that the narrative is not, of course, directed in a direction that may be appear to be detrimental, or you have to continue to be in remedial mood. No, you should have, of course, people there who are objective and who will present the case as it is, and nothing of the sort of mentioning property tax ought to have come into that conversation, because the exercise was about, as a good administrator will do, find out where you are and what is required and how you can, of course, make adjustments. But to say that because of the lack of property tax, that the projects of the corporations have not been able to be on track or executed at all is misinformation, disinformation, and clearly the propaganda of the current what I consider to be false and, of course, desperate PNM in office and in the parliament and out of the parliament. Let us get
and so I want to ask the listening public this morning, and those who are viewing, of course, on Gael TV, all our regional brothers and sisters, our CARICOM brothers and sisters, and those wherever you're locked on the diaspora across the region and internationally as well. You know, what do you think? I mean, how important is it for the current administration to get a hold of the narrative? I mean, it takes so much time to go back now and try to set things straight, because we know quite well there are people who are set in their ways when it comes to making mischief. They are not fans nor cheerleaders of this administration. Let's be honest, they do not want this administration to succeed, and so they will do almost anything to put their propaganda out there to throw off the real facts of the matter. And so what you get is a biased and skewed sort of narrative that is being peddled by their operatives and those who are in the media. So it's very important, because an administration is who, of course, was not there to condone property tax. How then can you put out a narrative saying that they were relying on the money from property tax? How could that be? They were never setting their budget or their fiscal commitments based on any property tax. So you understand the wickedness of these people. That's how serious it is. That's what's going on. And a lot of things are being said out there when you hear people talking about CPEP workers. CPEP workers started to get paid yesterday. They started to get paid yesterday. Who said they weren't going to get paid? They started to get paid yesterday. This is about the contractors. And there are people who seem to be piggybacking on this nonsense and this fabricated propaganda of the PNM about CPEP workers. CPEP workers will be taken care of. You heard it right here from the line minister, Barry Padarat, who made it quite clear that they are going to make sure that these workers are paid, and even 1 month for the contractors, although they have been relieved of their duties, 1 month. So find yourself wherever you have to find yourself, but the program is going to be restructured, and that's it. Technical director, anybody on the outside? If so, please let us know. Get in on the program. Let's hear from you. What's happening? I mean, many of you have been listening, but it's only fair that we clear the air and give you clarity on these issues. You cannot rely on these dailies and whoever is reporting on television when it comes to telling you the facts of what is taking place. This administration is not relying on no property tax, and property tax didn't throw off any commitment that they have to ensure that the municipal corporations are run efficiently. The line minister made it clear that was never about the meeting. The primary factor was to ensure that they have the resources. She was ensuring that they had what it takes, because we are also in the rainy season. So if they need equipment, if they need sandbags, if they need whatever, and also to ensure that no one is going to be laid off, and as well as to let them know that the contractors and suppliers will be paid. It's challenging, but they are up to the task. Don't try to sell this administration being weak.
So the source of the funds was not the focus of the matter. And if I have to give any criticism to this government, is really that they ought to have anticipated that, having regard to the audience and the nature of the individuals that they would have been speaking to, and would have gotten, of course, their propaganda out before, and now you have to take corrective measures. No, you ought to have anticipated that, and therefore, of course, make certain that you are out front in what exactly was the discussion about, and the source of the funds had nothing to do with the lack of, or the implementation of, or the presence of the property tax. And I think that is where the flaw might have been, and the oversight on the part of the government to anticipate that is what, because now you have to do remedial action when that ought not to take place at all, because you would have had anticipated that would have been the outcome, and therefore act appropriately. Because once bad news is out there, people have a kind of skewed, and people having second thoughts and all kind of thing. No, you need as a government to be preemptive, and to be forthright in that regard. Let me give you the numbers again for the to call in, for those callers who want to call in. And I don't know, maybe Mikey, you can ask the technician if there's any voicemails that we can play now. I think it's about time. I have not heard any for the morning. The numbers to call, of course, to get us here directly in the studio, 225-6644, 225-6644, and the other number, 239-5120, 239-5120. And remember, only for your voicemails, which we should have a couple to play about now. That number, WhatsApp number only, and it is 366-3053, 366-3053. Mikey.
So please, technician, any calls?
Yeah, we have a caller on the line now.
Hey, good morning, caller. Welcome.
Good morning, all here. God bless all your boys. God bless all your boys. All you get out, that man they give in trouble. What I want to say is, they have to get first serious with crime. Hello? Yeah. They have to get very serious. The first thing is with crime. We know the country don't have money. The stakeholders in trouble too because of the crime. But still try and see what the stakeholders can help. And see how they can control this crime, the first thing in this. Because you have to see how you could bring back Smith, do Lalchan, and they should put all the differences out one side and get back with it. These three fellas and how they're working on that ground with different vehicles, not police cars. Find out from the people in the district, which is the streets they're passing in, people will tell you, all them Californians and all who preparing for Carnival, all you have shut this, all them things, and ban, study how all you could go in all your district, and how all you could get together with police, and let the police come without uniform, and how all you could find a way to help curb this crime in this country. Our country is a mustard grain, not a 2x4, a mustard grain. When the white man leave this country, and I asking this government, I'm begging all the time, they not sit around dead begging for that. Bring back the strokes with the hangman. That is what white man they do, and we could have walked the road straight. Bring back that and go help curb crime. Thanks, all your boy, thanks. This was such a beautiful country, eh? You can't come out in your yard, eh? You can't do nothing at all. People scared. Oh, gosh. God bless all your boys. Good job, Granny, with all you.
You have a next caller on the line, please.
Yeah, all right.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, good morning,
And I'm
Mikey.
hearing you, Mikey, as well.
Okay,
All right.
right. I
Go
just
ahead.
wanted to make sure because I wasn't hearing anything. Okay, good morning, Mikey, Lennox, Andy, wherever you are, newbie, and to everybody out there. Mikey, thank you so much this morning for raising those issues. But I'll tell you something. We don't have wickedness and enemies in only the high places, the media, the PNM, and whatever. We have it in our own camp. We have it in our own camp because they're seeing them and you're hearing them all over Facebook, right? With their nastiness. Now, where is our commissioner of police? You are not hearing anything about from the commissioner of police, right? Well, we should be hearing something about him. But Roger Alexander is looking after his constituency, right? He had a health fear with his people. I'll call it his people, right? He had a health fear with them. Right away, all over social media is he the minister of health now that he telling men and them? But the man was not talking to everybody. If you don't want to take care of your health, that is your business. The man was speaking to his constituencies, and it's the same thing they did Kadisha Amin, right? And we need instead of our own people undermining us, come out, come out and deal with the situation, come out and help, come out and stop the propaganda. The next big piece of propaganda is because this fella Kevin Ramnarine said it will take the report will be given in 4 months concerning the Petrotrin refinery, right? Right away, that offending people. Right away, they're ready to push the UNC back into opposition. You see what is going on, Mikey? You would swear that the refinery is some small thing in the backyard, right?
Mm-hmm.
That it wouldn't take months to bring in that report and all this kind of thing. No, you see, when they behave like that, what do they expect for other people, Mikey? When they want Mrs. Prasad Bisesa to wave a magic wand and fix everything for them. You see what has happened to all of them? All of them want to be advisors to the Prime Minister. But she has her advisors. And you know, Mikey, when they talk, the first thing they want to tell you about your age, right? But let me tell you something,
Yeah.
Mikey. I am proud to reach my age. Yes, I had challenges along the way. Who doesn't, right? But I am proud to be the age I am today. But some of them, age is not a privilege given to all, you know, Mikey. And that's the first thing they just want to hit me with. But let me tell all you something. I am 71 years and I am very proud that I could still stand here, so sit here, whatever, and make a contribution. I could go out there when they have protests or whatever. Go out there, I could raise my voice, Mikey. I can raise my voice, right? More than most of them. And they cannot do it. And that's the first thing, but I don't care. God has given me this gift. Only my people reach my age. And Mikey, it is going on. Let me say about a month after the elections. They wanted this lady to wave a magic wand and fix everything that the PNM destroyed in 9.728 years. And when you disagree with them, that is what. No, and you see everything they put up, Mikey, you must agree with it, you know. Everything they post, you must agree with it. From the minute you see, you know, you remember what Rowley said, from the minute you disagree with them, they just want to get on like a wajang and a raging bull. Well, die some of them. And you see, when we start calling out our own supporters for the things that they are doing, undermining this government, then you will get everything straightened out, Mikey. And I am glad that you came on this morning to talk about what it is happening in the country. We have to put a stop to the PNM media. And we also have to put a stop to some of our own supporters who are undermining the government. Mikey, thanks a lot and have a good one. Take care.
Thanks a lot. Have a good one. Who's on the outside there? Technical director, please let us know. And again, the best defense, of course, is always to be prepared. And you're right, you made a point there, Lennox. The administration must have at least take that in consideration, that these people are not going to be friendly. They are not going to play fair. We've seen that over the almost 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, they're definitely not.
That has been the experience.
That's right. That has been the experience. let's be honest.
Yeah,
It's going to be nasty, downright dirty. It's
that's
going to
right.
be venomous. It's going to be vile. It is nothing to say that it's in the interest of the people of this country. It is just a matter of attacking, and they will attack and they will put their propaganda out there and try to see how much traction they get. And there are people who are falling victim to that. Come on, people. You have to start to connect the dots. It's rather time consuming to have to go back because at no time during that meeting, according to the line minister, the Honorable Khadijah Amin, that they spoke anything about the fact that due to property tax, they couldn't fulfill their commitment. It was never about that. So don't try to sell us that, oh, so they didn't know that before and why people running with that. No. Yeah, listen,
Mike,
if you want to run with that, run with that. But the facts are here on the ground report, and we have programs for you. It's not to say we don't have program where you
Get a
could go and
caller
you
on the
could
line,
listen and
please.
you could take it in. Go ahead, caller.
that's
Good
right.
morning. I just want to
Good morning.
morning.
Good morning.
10 years this government was in power, PNM, for the last 10 years. And they're doing what they want. They, as Santa Cruz says, right? They want everything. Everybody want everything now for now. They have to clean up the system first. When we will understand, they need to clean up the system. Kamala and her team want to get rid of the corruption, all the waste and all the corruption, so they could pay public servants. That's the next promise they want to fulfill. They're working on that. What is the non-cost items they're dealing with? They deal with already. Some of them, most of them, like the merit point and the children's life fund and other things. That's more or less non-cost items that wouldn't cost much. But the 10% and what not the back pay, that is what they're working on. But everybody wants everything right now. We have to wait. I have to get money too, but I have to wait a little bit. You understand? So we cannot be hurry, because when PNM was doing the stupidness, nobody had nothing to say. They leave Rowley, they leave Marvin, they leave Faris to take all the money, and all of them, Foster and all of them, to take all the money, Penny and them, to take all the money. Nobody didn't have nothing to say. Cool yourselves, people of Trinidad and Tobago. Everything will be on time. Everybody will get fixed. But they just have to have a little patience and pray.
Thank you, caller. Technical director.
Yeah. And as I've said, and we said it during the course of the campaign and before the campaign, that the PNM propaganda machinery is very well oiled and would, of course, be utilized against the people. And I see it even in the statement that was just made by the last caller. When you say everybody, no, it is not everybody. We explained that during the course of the campaign as well, when everybody thinking, well, listen, the PNM is this in Herculean and monolithic political machinery that can lose an election, and we keep saying see the glass half full rather than half empty. And here it is, of course, everybody. No, it is not everybody. It's the few that they would use in order, of course, to make it appear to be everybody. And therefore, we have to put things in perspective, and we have to say things to, of course, realistically represent what the reality is. But I agree, Mikey, that there should be very little need for damage control in a simple exercise such as that. But the potency and the monolithic nature of the PNM propaganda machinery, because lies is idiosyncratic. Lies is par for the course for the PNM. We looked at, of course, those emails that caused a whole government to change because it accused the sitting prime minister of conspiracy to kill a journalist, and therefore that is no easy thing, and that is why we had pushback 1, pushback 2, pushback 3, pushback 4, 5, and of course, and we had, of course, the other elements that we use. So much so, when they realized that we were pushing back effectively, they tear gassed us and they held us, but we continued, of course. So therefore, the present government, the Kamala Prasad Bisesa-led administration, UNC Coalition of Interest, must learn from those issues and those mistakes, if you want to call it that, or those developments, and know that you should put a mechanism in place to be proactive rather than be reactive, as we saw in that article that you read out today. We ought not to be doing damage control, or if any, very, very, very little fine tuning of the narrative of the government, because we know who they are and the enemy that we are dealing with.
And I agree. I agree with you. Technical director, I don't know if it's the right number, but I have been messaging you, so I don't know if it's the correct number. Please let me know. There's just an issue that I wanted to raise with you, so I did message you. Can you give them the numbers one more time if there's no one there, director? Do we have anyone?
No, we don't have anyone.
Give it. I will give it if there's none.
Give the numbers.
Yeah, 225-6644. 225-6644. That is, of course, the numbers you can get us right now in studio. So those of you who had some trepidation, had some limitations, well, you can call now, test the water, so to speak. 239-5120, 239-5120, because I have a lot of time now. And then, of course, only WhatsApp for voicemails, and this is the number for that mechanism: 366 3053, 366 3053. But to give us your voicemails only, and remember, do not call us on that number, that WhatsApp number that I just gave. So the numbers to call us at right now: 225-6644, 225-6644, and 239-5120, 239-5120. There should not have been, as I said, as much damage control that we are seeing now on that particular matter. There should have been anticipatory. They should have understood. There's a call. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, morning.
Caller, morning.
My team, morning, Lennox.
Good morning.
I was listening to. People that understand, we live in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, we understand that promises were made on a campaign trail. People looking forward to these promises. This is Trinidad. Everybody would want things now. People know how PNM are, and they would. And it's politics, you know. This is politics, you know, because if it was the other foot, they would have been wanting all the promises made. So we better understand, yes, things had to happen. Yes, we had to wait. Public servants, some of them, they say they're waiting for the 10%, but they would have already get 9%. So they would have just be waiting for 1%, really, because other public servants already get 9%. So we just had to wait and hope and just counter everything the PNM with, counter it, and we wait and see. Because at the end of the day, is the men on the low, as I always say, is the people down on the ground feeling it. Nothing is happening when it comes to food, and one of my main things, we ain't hearing nothing about food. We ain't hearing nothing about that. That was a promise made that food prices would drop, and nothing is happening yet with that. Everyday grocery prices still going up, and we start to hope and wait and see how that's going to happen to some food to go down. I don't know how they're going to do it, because everything that basic items already have no tax. So I don't know how they're going to do it, how they're going to try to get the cost of living down. We wait to see. But that's what we voted our government for them to see it. Another thing with crime, I saw there were some statistics about crime. And this is things that people were voted, just people saying, yeah, well, we have to wait, but we're hearing at the same time. And government come, government go. Their big crime come, you know, we see, once that roadblocks again, all over the place. Because there are laws in the country. So I don't know what much more they could come with, but come into parliament and make criminals getting bail. So they don't care. We get locked up today, they come out tomorrow because they could get bail very easily. Right? I don't know how else or what they could do again, because they say, all right, getting body camera, they getting the vehicles, I don't see, and my thing is, you see, roadblocks, I don't find that is very efficient. Because when you're taking a dozen men from patrolling the whole roadblock, for me, that makes no sense. When there are other people, so for instance, the traffic wardens, licensed officers, if all they want to have them, let them do roadblocks and leave the police into the police. Let the police be doing something else, right? But when they have police here, or they're saying army, you don't see the army with the police. Very few soldiers you don't see with a police vehicle. In a police vehicle. And something again, one more thing. Oh, the vehicles they are buying, these very expensive vehicles they are buying, I think it makes no sense to me. Because when you're paying $300,000 and up for a police vehicle, when they could buy a cheaper vehicle where two officers could sit down in and patrol, they could get two vehicles for the price of one. I don't see why they have to buy these on, I could understand SUVs and vans for the areas we have inclines and hills, but for highway patrols and these kind of things, they don't need these SUVs. Buy these sedan cars for these officers to fit in, that they could patrol with these SUVs, these very expensive SUVs they want to buy for police, and then 2 minutes you see them pack up, you see them mash up, where they could buy the cheaper cars, that if you get mash up, the parts easier to get and stuff. It may work out, and we can get two vehicles instead of one, it may work out fine. These expensive vehicles, I don't know why they keep buying these expensive vehicles for the police for them to mash up. And they're paying two police officers, sometimes one police officer in these vehicles. Makes no sense to me. SUVs and things in hilly areas, fine. There will be a strain on transmission and fine. But for normal highway patrols, sometimes long time when cars come out, I live in the East Corridor, you see on these highways, cars patrolling, cars parked up by every traffic light, and so on. Now you don't see that again. You might see two cars on the beatum. You might see one patrolling somewhere along, and people doing what they want. But so I want to see what kind of crime plan they want to come up with, because everything right now is illegal. You can't just come and bust down a man's house, you have a warrant. These things, so they need to start to work on crime, because murders keep going up. I think right now they done surpass the number that when they came into, it done reached 100 and something in a few 2 months. When they came in, it was 74 or something. So between then and now, it's 100 and something that went already. Murder going up, kidnapping start back again, and all these things going on. And we just wait and see now. Just now I come in, right? Just now. The people don't want to hear. Just now we come in. People want action now. Same thing we used to come down on Fitzgerald Hines, he ain't doing nothing. The same thing people will come down on the Alexander and Sturge for not just sitting down and doing nothing, and and people getting killed, and the story just on, and it comes a normal thing. It just comes a normal thing for people now. If somebody get murdered, well, another murder, right, and I go on my way. Somebody get killed, all right, nobody in that time. But I need them to work on food prices. It's getting pretty ridiculous with food prices, right? I hope they could do something quick, Lennox, Mickie, about food. All right, man. Thanks very much.
We have a caller on the
All right,
line.
caller. All right. Go ahead, caller. Morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning, Ground Report. Lennox Smith, Mickie K, and Andy Williams. I am from Grandy, and my contribution this morning is what I could say. I want to say that we have the UNC, the Prime Minister, and her team, and they are all full of love in their heart. They have God in them. And this is a start for us from what we came from the PNM. The PNM, every individual representing the PNM, full of Lucifer. They have hate, envy, greed. They have no feeling for the small man at all. If they had win election again, the 1% all the police service, WASA, all of that, they wanted to privatize. And the 1% would have taken over Trinidad through Stuart Young. Because Rowley put he there because they know what they was planning. So I want to say, praise God, that we have a God who looking down on us, that he gave us a prime minister and all her ministers of God to bring back this country. This country is going to come back. But the individuals, the people in this country, do you all know what God has taken us from the PNM, from what the PNM planned and what they were doing to us? Look at how they're now trying to create race division. They come out playing and talking about the Negro and the Indian and the thing about the Negro. You would tell me, you love your country, and you're creating a little country like this, Trinidad and Tobago. Racism, or they're telling the CPEP and thing, because they don't want the CPEP to come out and get on, and then police want to come, and some people go lose their life, and then all of us say the UNC and working, and the UNC and working, so with the had a re-election and all that. This is what the little Kareem boy was saying from the BTAM, because they talk about it and they had plans. But Trinidad and Tobago, we are beautiful people. We are children of God, and we've been suffering for 10 years. Look at me. You all recognize God has listened to us. He has heard our plea. He has given to us the UNC. Relax. God is here with us now. There's love now among us. Listen to me, Rowley, and that woman in Tobago, she's Lucifer's self. She plays a demon in every one of the PNM ministers who in the opposition. They are no good. All they can do, all they can create is war. All they can think is destruction for this country. They don't care, Trinidad and Tobago. So people, let us praise God that he has taken us from the PNM, from Lucifer, and he has put a party that have love in them. They're full of love, and they're going to do what is needed to be done. Rome didn't build in a day. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, Mikey, you could go ahead now.
Okay, Lennox, over to you. Go ahead.
Yes. Are you hearing me loud and clear? You hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Yes, indeed. Well, I was of course looking through the well, I read the point of the Express, and very interesting, of course, developments taking place. We did pause on the question of Padarat accused PNM of CPEP hypocrisy, and of course, I think part of what you had unleashed on the population this morning, a dose of reality, subjected, of course, to some of the comments that would have been made that caused us to do it. But as I said, if you have to criticize the government, it would be, of course, non-anticipating that would be an issue, and therefore, based on the people who would have been part of the meeting of necessity, there are 7 corporations controlled by the PNM, and therefore they had of necessity to be in that meeting, but they ought not to be surprised or taken by surprise that the narrative that would come out in the traditional media would be that of the focus of the absence of property tax. Why their plans for moving forward has run into a snag, because that is what the article would have conveyed to the average ordinary Joe. So we have settled that, and therefore, of course, I don't expect that to be repeated into the future. We have enough, of course, mechanisms in place in support of the present administration, because it's the right thing to do, and not, of course, spread propaganda, old talk, outright lies, innuendos, deceptions, and what is taking place on the PNM side, looking, of course, to get into government, sanitizing themselves, and in a bout of what I consider be fake, self-righteous indignation. Suddenly, they love all of the CPEP workers. Well, of course, the minister did say that it is hypocrisy and that they had planned to fire them anyway, including, of course, the affected workers. when they would have, of course, fired the contractors themselves. So that being as it may, drug shortage jeopardizes transplant patients. So this is another development, and this is not as a result of the present administration. In fact, the present administration has now to find ways and means to put this thing in place, because you have what is called drugs. If you're doing a transplant, an organ transplant, the body sometimes rejects the particular organ because it is not part of the original body, and therefore, of course, antibodies and other agents within the body fight off something that was designed to prolong life, but instead, of course, it expedites the termination of life. So let me just read one or two paragraphs from it. A drug shortage jeopardizes transplant patients, and then of course the article says, in essence, a severe shortage of a critical anti-rejection, so there you go, anti-rejection drug for organ transplant patients is patients is triggering what the kidney recipients support group of Trinidad and Tobago has described as a national health crisis, with some patients now relapsing into renal failure and others forced to purchase the life-saving medication through unauthorized channels. So that speaks volumes, and therefore here is where the minister come in. However, Health Minister Dr. Lakram Bodo said that the situation is expected to be resolved by tomorrow. So this article, I think, would have appeared, I think, yesterday in yesterday's Express, brought over to today. But the fact of the matter is that here it is, the minister has already, of course, put things in place to have it resolved. Let me just read one paragraph to get a greater, one more paragraph to get a greater perspective. In a letter dated June 30th, addressed to the health minister, the group, that is, say, those persons concerned with transplant, urge immediate government intervention, warning that the shortfall in this particular drug is endangering lives and threatening to undo years of progress in transplant care. So that is the reality of that, and clearly it's something that would not have happened just two months ago, but it's something that clearly would have been inherited by the present administration. So the matter was expeditiously addressed and dealt with, and I think by today, then, if the article came out yesterday, by today that situation would be resolved. I think those are the kinds of things that the population needs to be abreast of, and that the present administration cannot the present administration cannot absolve itself of the deficiency of not informing the population, and at the same time to say who is at fault and what has been the situation in the past before the 28th of April this year, when, of course, the population unanimously voted against the PNM and in favor of the UNC, led by Honorable Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Bisesa and the coalition of interests. So that's very, very important, because it harks back to the lapse in pro-action as far as the CPEP matter is concerned. So in every sphere, we have learned of life and governance in this country. The PNM has, of course, undermined and have literally destroyed, and a rebuilding process has to take place. And the population needs to know the facts, because that is what will keep the government in place and will keep the PNM out. So when there are opportunities, I would advise every single ministry that there are those who are capable of articulating and understanding and sufficiently accurate with what is required in the knowledge and the conversation in order to make certain that the information is correctly disseminated. And I must say that the ground report has been, of course, at the forefront of that. And now we are attached to a television station, Gael, the Caribbean. I believe that those are considerations that should be taken in order to make certain that the people get the right information, correct information, in other words, and the government must do what is required. They must understand too that these are commercial. There are some commercial elements to it as well, and therefore, of course, I'm sure that the budget that they would be budgeting should include, of course, the messaging of the government against, of course, anti-government group led by the PNM that are prepared. I say group here because, and say led by the PNM because there are other elements to it, some known, some unknown. But what we know for sure is that the traditional media will not relent and will generate a narrative that are either outright lies, innuendos, deception, and of course, making certain that the PNM's narrative gets out there, and we must counter that of necessity and by strategy.
I'm not mistaken. I think we have a call there. Technical.
No, we don't have any call on the line.
All right, Director, I have been trying to reach you. I don't know if you're getting my messages, but if you can, just reach out to me, please.
And I'm wondering if we could go for those voicemails. Do you have access? If you have access,
The voice notes. If there's voice notes here, I guess we can.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead, Lennox.
Okay. Well, we don't have an indication that there are for mute technician. I hope that there is. The caller on my line will have to hold on as we continue. Remember, of course, persons must understand that Andy is not here, and of course, the multitasking
yes,
that
you got a caller now.
Oh, we have a caller, right? Go ahead, caller.
Yes, all right. Now, Trinidad and Tobago and the world, I think they will never forget all the three boys. They will never forget all the three boys. All the three boys work hard for our country to go better, for the future of the young generation, and for the elderly, and for the whole country. And I think the world with Trinidad and Tobago and Granny and the people should never forget all the three boys especially who fight so much for things to go better. When Gandhi fight, he didn't fight for himself and he earned nothing. And all the three boys fight for nothing else than for the country. And the people in the country to go better, food, clothes, security, and the world will never forget all you. Trinidad and Tobago will never forget all you three boys. And Granny loved all you, and she will never forget all you. I will always say so. God bless all your boys.
Got some voice notes, yeah?
Yeah, Lennox is still muted, but if you can, go to voice notes will be fine. Technical director. Lennox is still muted, so he can't. He's talking, but we can't hear.
Yeah, all right. Yes. Yeah, sorry about that, but I had a call I was attending to. I was talking about, of course, the multitasking of skills of Andy. We don't have, of course, that facility today. because he's in the main studio, and therefore we have to, of course, adjust with slight adjustments and, of course, little deficiencies. But you will bear with us because, of course, we have to, of course, carry on the program because we are that committed. Remember, of course, we are not paid here as such, but we have to advocate that Gael is a commercial entity that, of course, has linked up with us, and therefore, of course, that requires some kind of commercial, what I consider to be arrangement. And if it is that the government, I'm saying, could be assured that those kinds of situations where you have to now go and remedy and to do damage control and all of that, I think we could minimize that by being proactive. And of course, there's no other and better place to be than on the ground report, and of course, and with our affiliate entities to bring the information out there to you so that you get it live and direct without, of course, tainting and without the propaganda elements that the PNM clearly is pushing. We have had too much experience, bad experience at that with the PNM to not be that preemptive. Let's go to the lines. Professor, good morning. Welcome.
You get a call? Having some problem with the voice note. Hello, got some problem here with the voice notes.
Mikey, you heard that? He's getting a problem with the voice notes. So we'll have to continue. Mikey, I'm not hearing you.
Yeah, I was just on a call there. What you said, there's a problem with the voice notes?
Yeah, he's saying that there is a difficulty with the voice notes. He's probably not getting access.
All right, okay.
Try one more time.
We have someone online? Go ahead, caller.
No, I said I want to try the voice note one more time, please.
Oh, okay then. Go ahead, technician.
Having some problem with the voice note because I only hearing it on my phone and not coming over the master control.
Right, so Mikey, there seems to be a technical issue there. Of course, all of us from time to time will be plunged, of course, into the deep blue sea, so to speak. so that is a typical case. But just in case, I'm seeing some articles that seem to be of a human interest type in the Express. Dashed hopes, wasted buildings. Wonder what that is all about. And then, of course, you have another one saying that are young drivers the real problem. And then, of course, widow wins a battle for husband's memory. Yes, a lot of human interest stories that are also, of course, making the news in the in the in the media, where, of course, those aspects of it at least we can trust. But in terms of politics, we have to treat things with not just a pinch, not just a spoonful, but a truckload of salt, having regard to the misinformation that seemed to be emanating from the newsrooms of the traditional media. We need to get media elements such as the ground report and, of course, our affiliates and so on board to make certain that we neutralize that onslaught that is so stereotypical of the PNM and initiated by them. They must not have any what I consider to be fertilized ground, any spawning ground, any opportunity to, of course, raise their propagandic head to the detriment and the deception of the population. Because when they get into office, we know they then, of course, pursue a dictatorial, autocratic type of arrogance and contempt for the people, mismanagement, and, as we've seen, a widespread corruption that is now, of course, unfolding in every nook and cranny of government sphere and life and operations in Trinidad and Tobago today. And they have us, of course, for the next 5 years. And that is minimum. Of course, the maximum will be in perpetuity. They will have the present administration managing the affairs of the country, simply because the population have grown to understand what the PNM is, the detriment that the PNM is as an institution. I've always said that it is really metamorphosized into a criminal enterprise. And I always refer to, of course, the Balize House, the construction of that monstrosity, consuming hundreds of millions of dollars, or at least $100 million, some say, and counting, with an antecedent that states that the party was bankrupt before Rowley took over in 2015. And, of course, owing some $5 million. How in such a short space of time, 9 years, less than 9 years, you're able to construct such a monstrosity. And I want to, of course, predict what is going to happen there. The Balize House will remain as it is, unfinished. Maybe it might be divine intervention, as far as I am concerned, to have a lasting monument of what ought not to be, and the fact that the PNM must not be in office ever again in this country. And that, of course, monstrosity, that symbol of blood money, will, of course, be a living and standing and tactile manifestation of what ought not to be and what should be rejected and have been rejected by the people of Trinidad and Tobago on the 28th of April 2025. And we will continue so to do. A ministry investigating security guard ambush at Malik School. That is a matter that I think is worthy of some degree of elaboration. Let me get to the article. I say so because the body that is responsible for security guards did ask for greater government attention to them, and but of course, more importantly, it's an educational institution. And why it is that security guards could be ambushed in a school, in a secondary school in this case. And worse yet, of course, it is connected to Laventil, so you'll understand my own passion. Ministry investigating security guard ambush at Malik Secondary. Let's hear what it has to say, just about 2 paragraphs. The Ministry of Education, it says it's currently investigating reports regarding a security incident that occurred at the Malik Secondary during the early hours of Sunday, July 6, 2025. According to initial reports, a group of unidentified individuals unlawfully entered the school compound. During the intrusion, 2 security officers were reportedly ambushed and accosted, the ministry stated in a release on Monday. So that is what transpired. But they say ambush. I wonder what they mean by ambush. Let me see if I could get a little more on that. Well, I'm referring to it online, and I'm not getting any additional information on that particular incident. Those of you who have it, well, you probably could assist us there, but I'm not getting it on. I'm not getting that particular link to open. But I think we have enough information. It ought not to have happened, but it has happened, of course, in a Morvan Lavatil school, and the catchment area would be, of course, individuals or students from the general vicinity, and that will be something of concern to me, because it may spread to other schools, having regard to the copycat nature of the criminal elements over the years that we have observed in this country. Police hunt attempted ATM bandit in Tobago. A boy 16 missing since Sunday. Alexander, unacceptable. What they're referring to, UNC, executive quits. Well, of course, that's an old article when, of course, Philip Alexander was the talk of the town, and him coming on board was unacceptable to certain people, and they decided to, of course, quit. Well, of course, they were of the view similar to people like Anita Haynes and Lala, now is singing his lullaby, I suppose, now, as well as, of course, the former Shogunas West representative. All of them are now, of course, very regretting that they did what they did, and, of course, have exiled themselves. But, of course, I suppose that is up to the leadership of the UNC to, of course, make a decision whether they should be reinstated or accommodated, as the case may be, now in government. So that's an internal matter that I even want to get involved in, except to say that is the nature of that particular article. I find it very strange that they will still have an article like that on a daily basis in the newspaper, when we have thought that is now history. But that's how it is. Marcel, 24.5 million for speaker Discover. $24.5 million for speaker Discover.
We have a caller in the line,
all right, we have a caller. Go ahead, caller. Whilst I look for this article, this is something interesting. It may be misleading, but let's take a look at it. But go ahead, caller.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Lennox Smith. We not see something on the TV. The thing comes still. We not see nothing on the TV. The program is not on the program.
Mickie?
Yeah, I was just trying to rectify a situation here. Go ahead.
Right, okay. The caller is still online, because
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. I'm
All
trying
right.
to rectify something.
No,
Technical people,
caller
technician, just give us an indication.
the caller not online.
Not online?
No, they're not online.
Oh, okay, all right, thanks. All right, well, let me continue with that particular article, because it says that, of course, Marcel, 24.5 million for speaker. Let's hear what this is all about. Lavatil West MP Karim Marcel, so at least that is the Marcel I suspect they were talking about, faced objections from the government when in addressing the issue of legal fees, he referred to 24.5 million paid to Speaker. Yes, Jagdeo Singh between 2010 and 2015 under the United National Congress. Of course, he ought to have been pulled up, I suppose, because he is a neophyte. They were referring, of course, to the arrangements at the General Finance or the Standing Finance Committee of Parliament dealing with, of course, the augmenting or the adding to the present budget to complete the financial year, and he was out of order to bring up that in the context of the Speaker, since of course the rule is that there should be no such aspersion being, of course, targeting the Speaker.
On the line, please.
Yeah. All right, but the Speaker was very generous and allowed him. Let's go to the lines. A pleasant good.
Hello, there is a caller.
A pleasant good morning.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead, caller. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm calling from the Barco area. We're not getting any audio in this area.
Wow. So, technician, what's the situation there? No
There's
audio.
a caller on the line.
All right, we have another one. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Lennox Smith. We're not seeing nothing on the TV. The TV is still right now. It's still. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Okay, you all could go ahead, Andy. I mean, Lennox.
Yes. Indeed. Of course, very interesting development with respect to that encounter. So, the Speaker was generous enough, of course, to allow him to his criticism, saying, of course, because Marcel was making his contribution to the Standing Finance Committee at the time that would have approved the supplemental appropriation. Caller, go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller.
No. Good morning again to the ground report. No, I just calling to say I'm watching on TV and everything clear. I don't understand how these people say they're not seen on the TV. I don't know what wickedness, whoever trying to come and interfere with the ground report. I am seeing on the TV. Wickedness with these people and them. The TV is being shown. Trying to create trouble with the young ground report.
Hello, you could go ahead now, Lennox.
Yes, my apology. I already didn't hear anything there, but that is how the technology is at this stage. But we will overcome. Yes. So I was making a point that of course the Speaker was generous to allow him to, in effect, criticize him, Jack Deo, the Speaker of the House. But very interesting. He then said that of course this fella Vincent Nelson also got some money.
Yes, corruption going on in URP. Yeah. Good morning.
Yeah. You said, go ahead, caller.
Good morning, ground report. Mr. Lennox, Mr. Andy, and the other guy. Mr. Lennox? Yes, corruption going on in URP. Yes, and it's time for and take a matter to fix it. And the next thing, I keep, this is Lower Santa Cruz, by the way, I keep saying, to bring back a flying squad. Remember Burroughs and the flying squad? You have to get back a flying squad, you know, to deal with this crime situation. And then we had to fix the Coast Guard and prevent all these guns from coming in the country, you know. So Mr. Lennox, you all have a very, very, very good program. You always inform the nation, and we depend on you all on morning. So you have a very good day.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You have another call? Don't forget, of course, the numbers to call, in fact. Let me just get that for you, just in case you will want to join us, but don't know how. The numbers to call, let me just make sure and get a handle here on yeah, let me just get a handle here, right? Bam, bam, bam,
Good
bam,
morning,
bam.
Ground
Right,
Report.
Oh, yeah,
Mr.
go ahead.
Lennox, Mr. Andy, and the other guy. Mr. Lennox, yes, corruption going on in Europe. Yes, and it's time for Antica Mala to fix it. And the next thing, I keep, this is Lower Santa Cruz, by the way, I keep saying, to bring back a flying squad. Remember Burroughs and the flying squad? You have to get back a flying squad, you know, to deal with this crime situation. And then we had to fix the Coast Guard and prevent all these guns from coming in the country, you know. So Mr. Lennox, you all have a very, very, very good program. You always inform the nation, and we depend on you all on morning. So you have a very good day.
Obviously, that was a voicemail that I was responding to. So,
good morning, Ground Report. Mr. Lennox, Mr. Andy, and the other guy. Mr. Lennox, yes, corruption going on in Europe. Yes, and it's time for Antica Mala to fix it. And the next thing, I keep, this is Lower Santa Cruz, by the way, I keep saying, to bring back a flying squad. Remember Burroughs and the flying squad? You have to get back a flying squad, you know, to deal with this crime situation. And then we had to fix the Coast Guard and
Gentlemen, Andy Williams, Lennox Smith, Mickie, pleasant good morning to you all, brothers. Trinidad and Tobago, pleasant good morning, pleasant good morning. Now, you know, Brother Carnage, there's always try to make a fair contribution, right? And the first thing I will do in voicing my opinion here, I want you to to be able to understand this, right? And I know the government listening, I know the Prime Minister listening, I know the Minister of National Security, Homeland Security, everybody listening. I know Mr. Guevara and all listening because he is our new police commissioner. Now, they want to run away with a talk. If it's not the CPEP, they want to say it's crime, right? They say since the election, 48 people has lost their life, right? Now Trinidad and Tobago, right? We big and we have sense. The politician is not the people who does implement, who does carry out the daily routines to solve crime, like the search, to lock up and etc. And what I would like the administration to know is that anything they put in place, let it be consistent. Don't put nothing in place because 4 people died here or 3 people died here and you send a vehicle there to stay for 2 weeks and thing. That is solving the problem. You have to put measures in place and be consistent with it. Stop and search, let them get fed up and stop and search that they wouldn't even want to walk with a knife. You understand? The people of Trinidad and Tobago, if we want good governance and we want a good country, we have to help in doing that. Because charity begins at home and ends abroad. You can't go in America and do anything you want. There are laws, there are rules, there are regulations that govern the country. They will deal with you. So for us in Trinidad to be saying crime out of hand, we don't know how crime reached here. We don't know how it reached. Now it's a new administration in office. And what we want this new administration to do is to implement things, right? And when you all implement these things, please continue, be consistent with it over and over and over and over again. Anytime you are not consistent, is because the criminal minds, they are thinkers just like you. Just how Mr. Guevara thinking, just how Alexander thinking, just how the head of national security thinking, the criminal is thinking too. So you have to come up with strategy to outing them. Right? You have the resources, or you have the resources at all your disposal, use the resources, right? People are fed up with the crime situation, people are fed up with the murder situation, use the resources, be consistent in any implementation, anything all you should implement to deal with the crime situation and the murder situation, be consistent, please. You all know what I mean. Right? And next thing I want to say, I see the ball and Saddam, 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 Saddam. We all love Saddam. We love Saddam, we love Khadija, we love Brother Parat, we love everybody. But you see, Miss Kamala Prasad Bissessa, there is a special love for that lady. And after that lady stay in opposition from 2010, from 2015 to 2025, and all kind of people say all sort of things. She falling down, she tumbling, she drinking, she this, she that, God forbid. She's still here with us. She lead us into victory. And it's only 2 months. And I know all these people who are there. I know all the people who are wrong. She's fully aware of that. So I believe now is not the time to challenge the Honorable for no leader position. Leave her in a position, right? We have 60 months ahead of us. Let us watch the governance. Let us try to change Trinidad and Tobago to do the right thing. And brothers and sisters, let me support the administration and what they're doing. All you see what the PNM did to us. I'm not hearing nobody balling the teeth. All you hearing what's going on in Parliament. All you hearing this condominium. All you hearing everything, right? And don't let this be a racial thing. Good governance will come under the Honorable Ms. Kamala Prasad Bissessa. All you don't know why they be calling that lady name so. Right? I'm a spiritual person. All you don't know. Right? So Andy brother, locked on and listening. God bless Trinidad and Tobago.
Good morning. If we are going to live in peace with ourselves, we must learn to put our foot down and say, I may not be perfect, but I know I am growing. I may have made mistakes, but I know I am forgiven. I have received God's mercy. Sure, we all want to be better human beings, but we need not beat ourselves up over our shortcomings. I may not have a perfect performance, but I know my heart is right. Other people may not always be pleased with me, but I am confident that God is.
Lennox, ground report, Mickie, everybody, good morning. You know, you just hear you there, Lennox saying, the government there just about 2 months, but the 5 years they'll be there, it's still going to take a lot to clean. The PNM left this country in such a mess. The cesspit hole they put us in will take a long time to clean it up and fix it. So give the government a chance. And I want to tell Clong and Boot, you come and you're criticizing this government for the ID card. Well, let me tell you something. That ID card, sometime it came out, I know myself, getting the first ID card, I travel with it every day. Nothing is wrong with it. It is good. It's good for security. It's good for anybody who go to the bank or go anywhere. They call for your ID card, you have it on you, right? And I want to tell him, you're talking about other countries, and this country we're living in, we're born and we grow up here. This is where we want security. The government is quite right. An ID card is not no weight in your pocket. It's not bulky. It's very easy to travel with. So you just keep it yourself quiet in a corner. Yeah, shut your mouth. Thank you and have a blessed day.
Andy, Lennox, good morning. Andy, Lennox, when somebody is interviewing a guest, is they entitled to ask questions? Do they not entitled to asking questions? I saw somebody interview Marva Gonzalez, Marvelous Marva. And he let the guy blah, 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 and lies, and talk. He don't ask no questions. What kind of reporter you start are those people, man? They just sit there and just listen to a man shoot after that crap to his mouth. And they do not correct them. They don't fact check them and let them know, hey, that's not true. I really don't understand. I really do not understand how those, whether BTV or whatever those agents die and then that they do not ask the question. They just let them talk. How can a reporter those, man? They are such a clowns in Trinidad. Stupid reporters, dummies, Garaha reporters. Okay, Andy, later, bye.
Good morning, Ground Reports Warriors. Marcus and Joseph locked on and listening. Yes, Mikey. Okay, good morning. Blessings to you, Andy, and also Lennox. Now, I was listening to you, Mikey, a little while ago where you stated about they causing propaganda and they're making mischief. Yes, they are. Because I saw a post on social media where there's a picture of Jolene John and also the lady that is in charge of the PSC union, right? And the media has put these two pictures together, right? And here what it's stating in the headline. Jolene John stated that the government will cannot continue with their promise of paying the 10% that was promised to the persons for the back pay because they don't have the money. Now you tell me how in the hell Jolene John can make that statement when Jolene John is not the Minister of Finance. She's the Minister of Transport. So you see how these people are them spreading propaganda? You see how these people are them looking for bacchanal to just let these PNM sycophants rally up themselves and UNC this and UNC that. Boy, PNM not another 5 years for you, boy, not even another year, not even another half a year, not even a month, not even a 10 days like Stuart Young. Nothing for all you, boy.
Pleasant good morning again, Mikey and the Lennox. Well, considering the crime spurge that we seem to be, on a runaway horse. I mean, I just saying, today or tomorrow, the TTPS and the defense forces decide to get together and flood the country, throughout the country, and zoom in onto some of these criminals that were taking place, these crimes. And something happened, the first thing the PNM and them opposition go say, they're killing out we people and all these things, so it's a narrative them gonna come with, no matter how they try to fix this thing. So we have to just push them aside, you understand? We know what is right and what is wrong. There's big people, you understand? So they are allowing things to happen in front of their face and they're saying that it's good things. So let me do forget this PNM, let me just do what we have to do and move forward. We go get clean up the place gradually and do what we have to do. All right, that's it.
Yeah. All right, hold on there. I know we have some more voice notes, but hold on as we can get into this whole conversation here. Lennox, you hearing me loud and clear? But unmute and I can't hear you.
Yeah, loud and clear. Right, so I was like my mute was
right.
incapacitated.
I know we're having a little challenges this morning. You're not seeing me perhaps on the screen, but I am here, people. Good morning to each and every one of you. And we are back on Guile TV. We had a little technical glitch. Hold on there, director. Hold on. We had a little technical glitch. We do apologize for that. But we are also on Guile TV again. To all our regional brothers and sisters, our CARICOM brothers and sisters. Yeah, Sister Al Tobago, Mother Bernie, good morning to you, Silver Fox, everyone locked on. Yeah, the last voice note spoke about the fact of cleaning up. Let's bear in mind that when this administration came into office, you still hear me, right? You still hear me?
Go ahead.
Right.
Loud and clear, my friend. Go ahead. I'm sure that.
Let's bear in mind that Let's bear in mind that when that last administration first came into office, it was a matter of total stagnation. They had mashed brakes on everything. Nothing was functioning because they spoke about trying to get things restructured and trying to find out where the money went and what was going on with the money and all of those things you heard about. And they had to ensure that wastage wasn't taking place. So you understand the hypocrisy. But when you talk about cleaning up, this administration, led by the Honorable Kamala Prasad-Visesa, has set the tone as to stop the hemorrhaging of money, the wanton wastage of taxpayers' money, and make sure that it goes directly to the people who needs to benefit from it, from the people who All right, you should be getting me better now.
Right, I'm hearing you, but you offer a bit, and I know that you.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, right. So back to this URP thing. So we're talking, let's take the 5 years at 9,220, the well-known radio political propagandist from the URP that was in the URP. That's $500,000 over the 5 years, right? $500,000. And the job title was Special Projects Coordinator, but she has never reported to work. Never reported to work. The tea lady at a primary PNM office was paid $4,140 a month as a URP material supervisor, but has never done any such duties. A PNM General Council member was pulling down more than $6,000 a month as an assistant regional manager. And yeah, that's the trend. He never carried out any functions. So it was just a matter of ghosts. $150 million a year ghost racket. Ghost racket. Should we not clean up this mess? Should we not ensure the people who have to benefit from URP, this unemployment relief program, where it is that they have to get their skills and advance and what have you so they can compete on the job market? Shouldn't the money be going to the people who really and truly has to be part of this program? And of course, taxpayers' money that needs to be accounted for? So that tells you the hypocrisy, and we cannot fall victim to all this propaganda and nonsense they're talking about. All of a sudden, these people have found their voices. You've seen that. Many of you have commented on it. Look at that Marvin talking now. Kolpot have a lot to say. You know Kolpot, which is Alien versus Predator face. He has so much to say. And all of them now talking loud with everybody to hear. Penny, who is totally out of her element, she just get the position because maybe it was time. Her hat was in the ring with the name on it for the longest while, and it's like, okay, you're leader now. But totally out of the element. She can't pull any of them back in, can't rein them in. They're just talking. Kareem Marcel, I don't afraid nobody. I letting you know right now. I am not afraid. I've never been afraid to express myself. Anderson, you and I, hey, we see each other, much respect. Your nephew in the political ring, he had to take some jamming whether you like it or not. If it means that we get one less caller, one less listener, so be it. But I came here to do the people business. And it's no friend and no favor. He is in the political ring. He's wearing red. He has a lot to say. He got to take some jamming. Whether Julia Davy or your mother don't like it, I really don't give a damn. Because at the end of the day, we have to defend this administration that we fought for the last 10 years. Taking tear gas, taking lockup, taking insult, taking ridicule, and was out there making sure to deliver letters and pushing back on that regime that was so oppressive. And who don't like it could kiss my left one and make my right one jealous. I really don't care. But at the end of it all who want to open their mouth now and say all these nasty and vile things about the Prime Minister and political leader of the United National Congress, they will have to pay a price, because we're not laying down and playing dead. We're not tucking our tail between our legs and running. We are not going to do that. We are no cowards here. Stand up and be UNC and proud. Defend your administration. You know what you went through for almost 10 years, and it wasn't good. The nights that you had to stay up thinking about how to put food on the table, how to send your children to school, what you're going to do. You had 2 cars, you had to sell one. You knew the sacrifice and suffering that you went through. And today, somebody wants to speed you up and talking about it had to happen overnight. And yes, when UNC win, we all win. But winning is a choice. Winning is a choice. And if you sit on the sidelines and fall victim to all of this madness, it means that you certainly do not want to win. You don't want victory. Stand up and defend your country, defend your administration, and let people know that enough is enough. We don't care about Colport and Marvin and all of them. They can try their best to bully us, but we dealt with the biggest bully they sent, which is Rowley. And if we could deal with Rowley, we could deal with all of them. Send them all, not half, not 3/4, all. Send them all, and we will deal with them.
Yeah, boy. The fire in the belly there, boy. And of course, I couldn't agree with you more. In fact, of course, last night, of course, I went to, I was extremely, of course, what I consider to be violent. Not violent, violent. I never had to be violent, but of course, it would have been verbally. But that is what is required. Let's not waste time. That is what is required. These people must not believe that they could eat their cake and have it. Let us not waste time with that. They must not believe that they could eat the cake and have it. Meaning, and let me be specific here, meaning that you could do us evil. The multitude and multiple evil that they would have done. Corruption, nepotism, cronyism, arrogance, contempt, misogynic statements, and then believe, and of course, quite apart from the emptying of the treasury, and I'm talking here literally in their own interests, and then have the audacity, the temerity, the gall, the effrontery to say war, and we must counter that. No, whether you're in the Beetham or whether you're in Laventille, whether you're in Diego Martin, whether you're in Lebre, whether you're in Point Fortin, whichever PNM constituency that clearly may be in existence for now. Wherever. Fact of the matter is that whether Marcel has had a very brief learning curve and have become acclimatized to the PNM butchery and barbaric conduct, well, he will have to pay the price, because I've always said he chose the wrong party. And I understand that if he had chosen the UNC coalition, he may not be the parliamentary representative, but at least he would, of course, come away with his dignity and his pride. But now that he has, of course, get into the PNM, what I consider to be idiosyncrasy, then, of course, he has to, of course, understand that nobody with experience, nobody with common sense, and worse yet, the corridor transformation, the ground report pushback, whatever version, will not cowed or will not succumb and watch this kind of what I consider to be hypocrisy prevail without resistance.
That's right. So if you're thinking different, you need to change that whole mindset. We are not going to lay down and play dead to please who? To please who? The people who don't care about us? The people who was eating ham, lamb, and jam? Where you could get almost more than $500,000 for 5 years. Are we supposed to do what? That when you say jump, we must say how high? I don't care about you. I care about the interests of the people of this country who have been robbed, who have been deprived, who have been taken advantage of. I don't give a damn about you, your friends, your family, and your finances. That has never been in the interest of us. All the times you recuse yourselves from cabinet, it had nothing to do with the fact that your constituents wasn't getting water, they didn't have good infrastructure, they didn't have good playing fields. It had nothing to do with that. It was about ensuring that you line your pocket and all the others, all your friends, all your people was making sure that they're eating at the same trough. That is what it was about. It was never about us. Now that Kamala Prasad has made it clear that that nonsense has to stop, these very same people have found their voice. Listen, technical director, if we have calls, bring them in. Bring them in.
No, we
Yes,
don't
indeed.
have,
Let me
we
give
don't
you
have
the
any
numbers to call.
calls.
You don't have a call? We have a call?
No, we don't have any calls.
Okay, but let me just give you the numbers to call so that those of you who are now inspired further could, of course, do your human duty. 225-6644, 225-6644 to get us here directly in studio. 239-5120. 239-5120. And of course, just as we have, I believe that might have been preempted, but of course, for a cause that is worthy, I want to tell Mickie, well done in terms of that intervention. But of course, the number to call us at, well, to get the WhatsApp and to get your voice in, your voicemail in, is 366-3053. 366-3053. Yes, last night I had to be appalled and I had to be disappointed that Marcel, in the Beatum, we a long time ago in his mother's house, we did put a program together for Beatum and of course Westfield, and they in another aspect of the development for the Beatum. And one would have thought that at least in his, of course, presentation, whether or not he wanted to generate the propaganda that of course he did in fact focus upon, one would have thought that he would have said, well, these are some of the things that we want to do for the area, make of course the area the recycling center of the country, because we have the largest landfill. One would have said that, because those were things that were said when he was still a student, right in his mother's house. And of course, I was the man that was called to, of course, put the entire thing together. So there exists a document. Tonight, of course, I will reveal it on the corridor transformation. Reveal them. There's at least two of them. And then, of course, those initiatives to replace URP, where, of course, we will put dikes, if you want to call it that, at the entrance of those rivers that traverse, some 12 rivers that, or should I say drains that traverse the Beatum and block, of course, the debris and so on that would enter the Beatum, through the Beatum, or enter into the swamp. And therefore, of course, it has an environmental component. And of course, we said that we will employ people on a daily basis and get off URP to, of course, empty and to take out the debris and cart it away for proper disposal. All of that we did. Those factories and businesses that are on the northern side, but between the priority bus route and that of the eastern main road, whether it be, of course, coconut growers, whether it be Angostura and so on, we would have, of course, write to them and demand that a certain percentage of the people on the Beatum get work there. Those are the things that I expected Marcel to talk about. We have a caller. Let's go to the line. We have quite a lot to talk about. Instead of this,
yes.
War, what? War with who?
Morning, caller.
Yourself? A pleasant good morning.
Like we lost that caller.
You lost that caller?
We lost that caller.
You have another one?
No, we lost it.
All right, people, don't forget to plug the number to call 225-6644, 225-6644, 239-5120, 239-5120. And of course, the notes, we will play them a little later in the program. We don't have much time again, but certainly we will try our best. 366-3053, 366-3053. But as usual, if we don't get your voicemails in, well, I'm sure that Andy will do the favor tomorrow morning when he is back on to, of course, do the honors.
No, we don't have any voice note again.
We await your call. Pleasant good morning.
We don't have any voice note again, right?
We don't have any of them. Yeah, but as I was saying, Mickie, yeah, that is what I expected Marcel, to be talking about. That place is a sociologically defined, depressed community for many years. The antagonism with the law enforcement and so on has always been one that
I agree with you.
have
I
been of
agree with you,
concern.
Lennox. I mean, I've heard his uncle Anderson talk about the poor drainage running from CGA. I've heard him speak about, the infrastructure is poor. I've heard him speak
You
about
better
many
call out the
things
line
down
there.
there. Yeah, go ahead, caller. Go ahead. Morning.
You have a caller? Go ahead, caller.
Go ahead.
Morning ground report. Andy not there. Mickie, Lennox, and company, the Gael family, the ground report family, Tunapuna here. I want to
Yeah,
say
Tunapuna,
let me
go
tell
on.
you something. Well, from what Lennox was saying about Karim Marcel. You know, when I watch Karim Marcel and the Vince fellas and all of them, these neophytes who now come into the political arena, instead of they do something and think positive to enhance and to promote the people who vote for them in their constituency, you know all what they're doing? They're just defending the wrongdoings of the PNM. Because all the starting revelation that was disclosed in that $3.1 billion budgetary allocation that the government is seeking to get in order to complete some of the projects that the PNM, majority of which is money owed to people. And instead of these fellas and them come out there and be positive about it, they just come out there to defend the PNM, for all the ills and wrongdoing. But what I want to call to say, gentlemen, I listen to Penelope Beckles, and Penelope Beckles, let me tell you something. This is why, as Mickie says, they have put you into the political dustbin from then on. Because you was deputy political leader. You never get a chance to act as prime minister. They never give you no opportunity to act in any position. They put Stuart Young, they put Colmimbot and what have you. And now where the PNM gone to the bun, to the rejects, now that they've gotten you as the opposition leader. But it goes to show you that you was a misfit and they had absolutely no confidence in you in terms of you being a leader. And today you have demonstrated that, without any remorse, I say that. Because when I listen to your contribution with respect to the Prime Minister of India's visit to Trinidad and Tobago.
Is he there still? We lost him.
Hello? Hello?
I'm hearing him, Mikey. He's still there.
Yeah. When you listen to her contribution with respect to the visit of the Prime Minister of India and asking the question, and I'll show you something, I might be wrong for saying this, but you see the PNM believe in the race thing and the divisiveness of the population. Hello? Are you hearing me?
Go ahead,
Hello?
my friend.
Yeah, Lennox, because here why?
Yes.
Could you
Are
imagine
you hearing Lennox?
Yes, I'm hearing him. Go ahead.
Could you imagine a person
You're muted.
aspiring for leadership of this country?
Yes.
Are you hearing?
No, I'm not hearing him now.
Hello?
I was just hearing him a few seconds ago.
Yeah, something is wrong then with Lennox.
Technician?
I'm hearing you when you respond, and I'm hearing you clear. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, well, go ahead. So let him go ahead because
Right.
we seem to be out of it.
It just goes to show you how shallow-minded that this woman is. Because you cannot aspire to be for no leader in this country. Well, you could aspire to be the leader of PNM. That's it. But not for prime ministership or any position in this country to be one in governance. Because when you had the audacity to question how much money, because I say that this borders on divisiveness and on race, because people will see this, the other half of the population will see that, this question that you're asking, how much money you want to know, how much money that this government spent on bringing the Indian Prime Minister to this country. I mean, you have to be really absurd, ridiculous. I can't find words to describe you. Because of the fact that when you compare the question you're asking, how much money they spend, compare that what the Prime Minister of India has proposed to do for this country. That could take us to, to kickstart the future of technology in health and all the things that they offer, the laptops, the ambulance, the sea ambulance, and all the other things that, we could benefit from, that, what first world countries aspire to be. And we as a small country, 1.4 million people, and these people are reaching out to us. And in other words, we will benefit by the millions and millions of dollars. And other things, the prosthetic legs and all this kind of thing. And you had a goal to ask that question, Penelope Bettel. And then, you went back again to make a reference to the when Kamala Prasad yesterday talk about the fake vaccine and thing. You didn't talk about it when Keith Rowley said that, Penny, that you're not begging nobody for no vaccine and all this kind of damn nonsense and thing. But all of a sudden you get a voice, the thing. I am showing you Penelope Bettel. People are seeing you for what you are. And I am here to talk that you are very race biased. Because you have absolutely nothing positive. The thing. And then you're going ahead with the Prime Minister, then Keith Rowley, by making the rich get richer. Because when all you could support that Stuart Young get a $87,000 pension per month and all this kind of thing. That is what your Prime Minister said then, to make the what the hell now you coming to talk about, for the poor people? And I listened to Marva Gonzalez talking about calling on all the NGOs and all civil society to join with the PNM, even calling on the trade union. Everybody who you have rejected, treated with contempt and scorn. All these non-governmental organizations like the blind welfare, the people with the cerebral palsy, and all these things, where you remove them from a place, a home that they had, that these people were being treated and taken care of and all that. And all these NGOs, Marva Gonzalez, everybody who ordered dump and they just squander the money, thief it out. You, Keith Rowley, Stuart Young, Rohan Sinanan, Imbert, and all you, and had absolutely no care for the poor people. Now you're coming to talk about CPEP and you kind of thing. I hope the PNM people really sit down and understand these CPEP programs. Don't just see it as that they leg over the fire all you. They fire all you. They restructure anything to put things in place, because what was disclosed in all the areas of governance and in the ministries and whatnot, as Khadija Amin and all of them tell you, with URP and CPEP and whatnot, the widespread corruption. And those who were the beneficiaries, it wasn't you, the small people. It's the PNM people, unregistered companies, people who are paying NIS and health surcharge, and nothing for the workers and all this kind of thing. This is what they are trying to do. The mess that you PNM have left this country in people, because you sat there and said absolutely nothing for 10 years, and even more when Patrick Manning was there, and said absolutely nothing in defense of poor people. Now you want to come to play, you defending poor people, you are PNC people. I want the people to recognize you for what you are. You are blasted, you're a waste of time, and nobody should take you and the PNM seriously. As I say, this is the final nail in the coffin for the PNM. And, they have some kind of ceremony to bury all you once and for all. Because always a disgrace to this country. And don't feel, when you raise that question about the Prime Minister Modi visit and how much it cost and whatnot, that message wouldn't get back to the Prime Minister of India, Because we have an Indian High Commission down here. And plus, the electronic technology and whatnot. This is information. So when you see people coming forward, Prime Ministers, something you see, looking now, you see investors ready to see now they want to come to Trinidad. Look at what's happening in the energy sector and all this kind of thing. And you started to see things getting, activated in to building back this economy and investors' confidence and businessmen. So if you watch it now, even the very chamber of commerce, these set of hypocrites who stood idly by and they said nothing when Prime Minister Rowley and them was destroying this country, the closure of Petrotrin and all of these things. All they say nothing. Now all all your support this government. I hope this
Yeah.
don't fall no victim for all you and all your nonsense.
All right, Tuna Puna. Thanks a lot, my friend. Appreciate that. Want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to weigh in on the issues. Technical director, we have anyone on the outside?
The limited time that we have.
We have a caller on the line.
Hello.
Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Hi, good morning, Mikey, Lennox, newbie, everybody again. Good morning. Mikey, quote to the head of the class. Take win. I like what you just did just now. We don't care. We don't care. You put yourself in the political arena. Be prepared for the stick fight. Not Penny alone can do stick fighting. We can stick fight too. And we are not going to sit down and listen to all the tribe that you're talking about. War, and this one and that one and the other one. No, we are not going to listen to Marvin Gonzalez and his propaganda talk. We are not going to do it. We want a government. We have to see our government in place and to implement all their policies. And we are not going to allow the PNM propaganda to take over this place. I heard a caller this morning saying that how I don't know if it's a newspaper, I start to be corrected, that saying that Jolene John is saying that they can't pay the money, and she was right. It's not Jolene John called to make a noise propaganda. That is the call of the Minister of Finance. Why are they doing that? And you see, Mikey, that is why I keep telling people, stop buying the newspapers. Because when you buy the newspapers, you are putting money in your pocket. We have to bankrupt them. They cannot be allowed to carry on this PNM propaganda. They are lying. Why they must be doing that for? We have an elected government in place, and they, together with the PNM, are trying to bring down the government. That should never be right. That could never be right. And I agree with all that he said. We afraid nobody who want to come after me and stink up me, my children, or whatever. I know how to answer all you. Mikey know how to answer all you. Who afraid? Lennox know how to answer. And whoever afraid them, that's your business. We go answer. And there are a lot of people out there ain't afraid there, Mikey. And we will very well stand up and fight for our government that we work hard to put there, because we saw the suffering of the people for 9.728 years. And we are never ever going back to give weak belly Penelope and any one of them a chance to get back in office to do us what they are doing us, what they did us for that last 10 years. No, we're not going to allow it. Thanks a lot and have a good one. Take care.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's no call on the line, so you could go ahead.
No calls on the line, studio. Any voice notes?
No voice notes as well.
No voice notes as well. All right. So we have a lot to continue to discuss. We have some time again. Go ahead there, Lennox.
Yes, indeed. Well, of course, I was making the point that, of course, there are so many wrongs that have been the subject of the Laventil and environs. And when I say environs, I include Beetham, Sealats, of course, East Port of Spain, Belmont, Mova, etc. And not one iota of that. And more so, if I didn't speak, for example, you would think that the people do not know what they want and they do not have a development plan. Yes, something like 33 pages of development initiative, quite apart, of course, from preventing the debris from entering Beetham and the rivers thereof and into the swamp. You also have, and quite apart, of course, from the recycling initiative centered around, of course, the largest landfill in the country, again generating employment opportunities, quite apart from advocating and insisting of the very businesses that skirts on the northern side, the Beetham, to insist that members of the community get work. And that plan was, of course, developed when the pipeline, that gas pipeline to the power plant on Rice Road, it has been decommissioned, but then we also had a situation where we got NGC to give us a helicopter flight over to look at the tracing of the line, straight Beetham along and alongside and through Beetham to on its way to the Rice Road plant. And of course, we were negotiating to get, of course, a team of person to monitor that gas line, because of course, if somebody sabotages that, you could have, of course, prevented the whole northern part of Trinidad, at least the northeast western part of Trinidad, to be in a blackout scenario. All of that we did with respect, of course, to the swamp, the development of a crab catching or harvesting industry, and of course nature trails through the swamp in order for tourists and so on to look at these things. This is what I expected as a major part of his presentation, not war. Go ahead, my friend. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Morning to Mickie. Morning to the big old man.
Morning, welcome.
Morning to Andy.
Morning.
Yeah, man. We let people know that we come out for battle, you know, Mickie. We know.
We have the person or we lost him?
You know. We just say no, cool and listen, but when...
Oh, you're on air? I hear him here.
When?
Okay.
You hear me, Mickie? Mickie? Hello? Lennox? Hello? Mickie? Oh, what is going on, boy?
We are hearing you, caller. Go ahead.
All right, yeah. Mickie, I just want I'll guide you only. What I'm saying is, we come on for battle, Mickie. We ain't afraid nobody. We would struggle to build this party and the way we today. We are like no pain and people, they can do what they want. We standing up behind our Prime Minister. So we cool, we are making no fuss, we are making no thing, but when the carry and call is made to come out and defend the party, we coming out in a big room, Mickie. So let them talk. Let them talk. We are telling them. Let them talk. We standing by faction, and every Prime Minister call, we lie behind 100%. I love to listen to this.
Okay, you could go ahead now.
Yes, indeed. And of course, having said all of that, I would have thought his mother would have, of course, guide him along the lines of positive development, because the people of Beetham, God knows, really need that kind of support and assistance. And if you have a leader who would have been able to get to the position of being the parliamentary representative, one would have expected that those kinds of developmental initiatives and, of course, possibilities would have been disclosed. And but clearly, what has happened here is that he was able to be roped into a narrative and a conspiracy. What I describe, of course, I did it last time. I have no doubt in my mind that is so. An attempt, of course, to prevent his newly acquired colleagues from to escape blue lights and silver bracelets. That's the only conclusion I can draw, ignoring, of course, the plight of the people, saying nothing to, of course, advance their cause, but asking them to join you. And more than that, as a young man, what example does he represent, having regard to the repetition of violence, crime, criminality, borderline, as well as, of course, gang warfare, by making those kinds of what I consider to be volatile and indeed infectious, negatively oriented statement. What are you telling the young person that you could get to that level, you could get to become a lawyer or anything you want in a place like that? He being, of course, an exception to the rule. But of course, when you get there, you then, of course, engage in what I consider to be acrid and inhospitable language at minimum, far less for the encouragement of the subterranean realities that is that place. Come on.
Hey, let me just share some information with the goodly people out there before we make our way out of here. Just to remind you folks that the Trade and Investment Convention, the TIC, is taking place July 17th to the 19th. Center of Excellence, McCoy, here, Trinidad and Tobago. It will be held, of course, like I said, from the 17th to 19th. It's in its 26th year. And TIC 2025 stands as a pillar of regional business collaboration, innovation, and trade development. And this year's theme, Business Beyond Borders. Again, Business Beyond Borders emphasizes our commitment to expanding regional and international trade opportunities. The event will feature, of course, over 300 exhibitors from Trinidad and Tobago, the wider Caribbean, and beyond, with more than 25,000 visitors expected to participate throughout the week. So you don't want to miss it, folks. Please, and we ask that those of who are available to want to be a part of it, you can check it out. You can call the Mr. Kailash Jarak Hessing at 675-8862. That number 675-8862, extension 243. Very, very important. It's a national event where all SMEs, small and medium enterprises, can get invaluable opportunity to meet over 200 international buyers coming into Trinidad and Tobago, and over 25,000 walking through the traffic for 3 days. And we anticipate, of course, 100 million US in business opportunities to be created over the next year. So please be a part of it. Come out July 17th to the 19th. That's this week. Center of Excellence, McCoy. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be...
and I would expect that every single business entity, small, medium, and not so medium, but a little much more expansive, will take advantage, because remember, it's against a background of a total vacuum, a total dry up of foreign direct and indirect investment over the last 9 years of the PNM, and therefore, of course, this is the beginning of so many more. Of course, we have already gotten some overtures by the Indian government, and I suppose some of their business people will be coming here. Let's face it; it is the third largest economy in the world with over 1 billion people. You know what it is for Trinidad and Tobago, a simple manufacturer, to sell to, of course, a section of India, maybe 200,000 persons or 300,000 or 1 million people, because of course you're talking about over 1 billion people, the largest, of course, democracy in the world. So therefore, these are opportunities that are opening up, and therefore, of course, the promise of 50,000 jobs, I think, will go beyond what Nobrega would have said, suggested that somehow 20,000 was lost, using their specious and spurious and illusionary, of course, a loss of 20 jobs, making it 70,000 according to his logic, when in fact, initiatives like these will certainly, of course, potentially generate the kind of business that will expand our economy and therefore generate more employment opportunities. Let me say finally that, of course, the pre-budget consultation of the constituencies of Laventille East, Laventille West, Port of Spain South, Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, of course, that is Philip Alexander's, will be having their pre-budget consultation at the Queen's Park Savannah, in fact, at the grandstand of the Queen's Park Savannah on Sunday coming, yes, from 10 a.m. To 6 p.m. So come and give your ideas, of course, and your vision. Of course, this is consistent with the mandate given by the political leader of the UNC and head of the coalition of interest, UNC coalition of interest, that, of course, every constituency must be engaged in pre-budgetary consultations. And, of course, that is part and parcel, significant. Maybe it reminds me of my philosophical readings and the evolution of the Greek society, where everybody came together in order to make a decision on a particular matter. Well, a budget is such a situation. This government has recognized that, and as a consequence, of course, they have asked every single constituency to engage. So wherever you are located, in whichever constituency, or you may not be in that constituency, but you have an interest, then of course feel free to attend all of the pre-budgetary consultations that will be taking place across the country in every single constituency. On this occasion, of course, the Laventilles of Port of Spain South, Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, their turn will be on Sunday. Sorry, on Sunday coming from 10 to 6, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. At the grandstand of the Queens Park Savannah. So everybody see and be there. I will be there, of course. Philip Alexander will be there as well. Kurt Sennett will be there. In other words, that part of the coalition of interests, love, COP, and PEP will of course be
Having
present
that. So it's a joint
at that
consultation,
exercise.
right?
Yes.
But I know we also have Barataria, Saddam Hussein. We also have Tuna Puna, what have you. So we'll be letting you know as these things come up. So again, we have the Trade and Investment Convention. We have pre-budget consultation. We have all of these things going on. We shouldn't even be tied up in the propaganda of the PNM because things are shaping up. They are happening. They are taking place. So please, let's get streamlined on that and not the nonsense that they want to trap us into. We have anyone on board there, Director?
No, everything is clear here.
Everything is clear. The lines are open.
Any voicemails?
No, we
No
don't have any
voice
more
notes?
voice note. No
All right,
voice
great.
note.
So we don't have Andy to take the task tomorrow. So you'll be starting with a clean slate. All right, well, what's the time now? It's just about 7 minutes to.
Oh, yeah, about 6 minutes to the hour of 10 o'clock. So again, we did have some technical challenges, but we're always committed and dedicated to bringing you the program, which is based on the facts, what's really happening. And many of you, of course, and listen, many of you who are working with our new ministers and parliamentary representatives and ministers in the ministry, those of you working with them, please let them know, when we call upon them for some information, it's very crucial. It's very important because, if they don't pick up to, give us that information, then mainstream media is going to run with it with their nonsense because all they want to do is sensationalize and really and truly see the demise of this administration. Please do not work with them. Don't work with them to bring down.
Right, Mikey. You're
Yeah,
so right.
don't work with them to bring down an administration that we all work hard. We all, almost 10 years, we work hard. You heard Miss Santa Cruz because we saw the suffering. We lived the suffering. We experienced the suffering. We experienced the disrespect. We experienced the tear gas. We experienced the ridicule. We experienced the lockup. We experienced the worst. All that oppression. And then now, sometimes you call upon, I don't know if it's newness of office, but settle down. Settle down. We are not your enemies. I think by now you know that. You know who is who. You must know who is who. Even coming in, you would know who is who. You may have some newfound friends. They might whisper in your ears. It might sound sweet. It is political nectar, and perhaps you want to hold court with them. That's all well and fine. But you must never forget where you came from and who helped you. If you come by truck, you cannot leave by car. You have to use that very same system because it has been tried and tested. It is committed, it is dedicated, and most importantly, it is loyal. Loyal to the cause. It's all right to find your newfound friends. They may want to take you to dinner. They may want to give you filet mignon and, of course, sorted in a mushroom sauce with a bottle of the Dr. Fu 1853. That's all good and well. But just remember when you had Morby and a pack of fresh or salted nuts, who was there to still say, let's take this fight to the people. Let's take this in the interest of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And if you forget, I don't know about the rest of the team, but I will always be here. Once I wake up and I'm above ground and my feet hit the floor, I will always be here to remind you.
Here, please.
I will always be here to remind you. Who's on the outside? Morning, welcome.
Good morning, gentlemen. Tuna Puna here again. Mikey and Andy, I'm sorry, Lennox.
Yeah, Tuna Puna, go ahead.
Right. Now, I'm seizing this opportunity because of the fact that we don't have much callers. But I want to pay special tribute to our Foreign Affairs Minister, Mr. Sean Sobers. I think he is handling his portfolio very professional. in the manner in which he is dealing with all issues as it relates to foreign affairs matters and so, And why I'm saying this, I heard Emery Brown and them, they were chastising him and criticizing him about when his early appointment and things to that post, and what he knows about that ministry and with foreign affairs and what have you. I want to tell Emery Brown and all of them, sit down and listen and watch that gentleman at work. Because why I'm saying is, imagine you had a big head of government, a conference in Jamaica with all the leaders of the region. And our Prime Minister, because of her busy schedule, could not go to it. And she had the utmost confidence in sending Mr. Sobers there as our representative. And he handled himself with decorum, that people, think it just goes to show you the level of competence that we have in this government. That where the Prime Minister, not like Rowley, he had to go to everything, and a waste of time that come back and can't even mention what transpired when he attended those meetings and what have you, what contribution he made and whatnot and whatnot. Was a waste of time. But when you listen to Mr. Sobers, and give you a comprehensive report on what transpired, who he met with, who he discussed what issues and what is it. It is really, you feel a sense of pride to see that we have men who just come under the political arena than compared to PNM with Rowley and all of them and Imbot and all of them, Penalty, Battles and all of them, who were waste of time. That Rowley never see fit to send them to represent this country on no issues, but only he and Cho Chong, he and his boyfriend. Let me put it straight to you. But therefore, I am saying Sean Sobers is doing a fantastic job, and I wish you well, my brother, because what I'm seeing is this is room for political elevation into the government, into this government, that you could, in the event that our now Prime Minister decides to hand over the reign and things, you have yourself and like Dr. Munilal, Sister Jolene John, and we have competent people in this government. And as you rightfully,
I agree.
What you say, Mikey, is this: now that this is what we call a whole new transition of diversification, with all these things that you see taking place, with different trade missions and what have you, and these expos and whatnot. It just goes to show you that this government is really serious and not putting all our eggs in one basket in the energy sector. So I want to
So true.
Kudos to them, and I hope all the government ministers, everybody who is associated with this government, let us put our hand and put our task to the wheels, because hereby this country depends to build back and to have restore confidence and our international image and everything. And I say that I hope that you will succeed in any endeavors all you do to make this country a better place. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Thank you there, Tuna Puna. Yes, indeed. So again, folks, we are making our way out of here. And again, if you're working with these new MP/ministers, parliamentary representatives, ministers in the Ministry of Office, please remind them, hey, let me tell you, a true friend is one that walks in when everybody else walks out. You know who is who.
Wow, Mikey. I was going to ask you to repeat that, regurgitate that. So we are thinking the same way. I said that is something you always say. And
Yes.
while you were speaking, I remember that. So I was going to ask you to, of course, remind them of that, what I consider to be sage saying. So go ahead, my friend, take us out.
Well, folks, that brings us to the end of the program. Again, we do apologize for technical challenges, but as you can see, regardless of what, if you get a bullhorn on Kingswood or 120Y and we had to drive through your neighborhood to do the program, we will do such. We have been tried and tested time and time again, and no one out there can question our loyalty, our commitment, and our dedication to ensuring that this administration and UNC is going to be successful in all endeavors. There's going to be some bumps, There's going to be some humps, but most importantly, we are committed and united to ensuring the best for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, Director. Andy will be back tomorrow. Lennox Smith, thank you. Yours truly, Mickie Key, saying, hold on, don't forget later on tonight, our very own Lennox Smith, Corridor Transformation. And if you missed, I know Sunday we had some technical glitches with the Observer, but if you want to see the interviews, perhaps you've missed some, just check out our website now. That's right, that is theobservertt.com, theobservertt.com. Check out the website. There's going to be a gallery that you can actually shop T-shirts, special sources, what have you, that you can purchase as well, and different products. So you can check it out, theobservertt.com. Until tomorrow, we're out of here. Please try and stay alive.
May I thank you all very much.
Thank you.